What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Just wanted to tap in for a second. If anybody want to come up, the link is pinned in the chat. I just wanted to kind of get y'all thoughts on being an expat in a third world country. So while I'm talking, I'm like working on putting together this chair, actually a gaming chair, so it could be a little bit more comfortable. But let me know who in the building. Let me know who in the building. Yeah, so what would you give up to be an expat in a third world country? So just to give a little background, so I just kind of been observing, you know, what how people are moving, different things that they're doing in these countries, living, visiting, and then just looking at my own situation and just what would you give up? And so some of the things could be career, salary, home, car, family, children, those, just to name a few. Just to name a few. So I want to know who out there, and my question for you guys is, especially guys that are just kind of, casual travelers or even kind of new to the space or even been in the space for a minute, you know, has people has it been people that enticed you to want to live in another country? And if so, you can name a few people, or if you have questions on, how people are actually able to, let's say, take care of themselves, what type of lifestyle are people living, and then also, what are they actually gaining as well, living specifically in third world countries. So those are some kind of questions I'm throwing out there. Um, so I know there are guys that move to places like countries in Europe, some places in Latin America. So when I say third world, I'm probably saying countries. I wouldn't say like Brazil or like South Africa. Those are more second borderline first world countries, if we want to call it that. I'm speaking more of, and I wouldn't even put Thailand because Thailand has some first world amenities. I would say more of like, Colombia, DR, other areas in Latin America, maybe some parts of, maybe some parts of Mexico. Um, I don't really know people moving to like Cuba, but we got like East Africa, Philippines, countries like that. How what's your perception on how people are living and what are they gaining in those circumstances? Just wanted to put that out there. There's a YouTuber, and he's a white guy. What's his channel? It's like Ryan something, and I think he's been like in Africa. I want to say East Africa, like between Uganda and Kenya. And what surprised me was that, he lives in a village. Salute, Rona Travelers. What's good, man? He said, I'll be in the Philippines 2025 permanently. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got an Ed Travels in the background. I'm going to bring him up. What's good, man?
Hey, what's happening, bro? Peace and blessings to you, man.
Okay, where you from?
Well, I'm from California. I'm currently in Atlanta, but I've lived in Cambodia now for almost 7 years.
Okay, so you're currently in Cambodia
Well, no, I'm in Atlanta temporarily. I came back for some business, but I live in Cambodia full time.
full time. Okay, okay. How often would you say you come back home to like check in?
Well, I'm a disabled vet. I come back for because I get free medical care here.
Okay,
So I'll come back maybe once a year. You got to take that yearly exam in order to keep your benefits. So I'll come back, check on family, check on rental property, stuff like that. But I would say my home is Cambodia now.
okay, cool, cool, cool. Now, I don't know how long how many years you've been traveling, or or the friends or people that you know overseas. But um, two questions. So, for the most part, older expats that I'm aware of or seen, they typically have some steady flow of income,
Hmm.
whether it's pension, some type of retirement benefits, or VA benefits, or something like that. Um, so with the older guys that you let's say that you may aware of or heard, are they more financially stable? And then I see younger guys as just kind of just not all, but some are just kind of leaving everything in the U.S. and they're just figuring it out as they go. Like, have you seen either of those type of people?
Yeah, I've seen both. I mean, they're not just Americans, but Aussies, Brits, Europeans, who do get some sort of retirement or pay or pension or have substantial savings. Some come over, and a minority of them, I'll say a minority of them, do start successful businesses where they are. And due to the fact of the much lower cost of living,
Hmm.
they're able to do more with less.
Okay.
So, and I've also seen, the young guys who I completely understand their enthusiasm to want to move out of the matrix and move out of the US. But I would also caution them that, everything is relative, right? So if you do come over and you don't have a game plan, I mean, even something as simple as teaching English,
Hmm.
which is really like a go-to. You can teach English at a local school, or you can even teach English online. And let's say you're able, like where I live in Cambodia, where the cost of living is 57% lower than the United States. You're able to live off, say, 2,000 a month is more than enough money for you to live comfortably. You know what I mean? You can get a one-bedroom apartment for less than $200 a month. So you're able to live, but I would caution that you need to have some sort of game plan, you know,
Okay.
before you jump, go visit for a couple of months or a couple of weeks if you have the opportunity to do that, so you can get an idea of what the weather is like, what the political climate is like. Can you deal with the drastic change in society and day-to-day life? The food, the transportation, because a one bedroom apartment in Cambodia probably might not be a one bedroom apartment, say in Atlanta, LA, Chicago, or
Right.
whatever. So you got to take all of that into account.
Mm. Okay. Now, what made me think about talking about this is because I found myself very challenged to take that leap. You know what I mean? And full disclosure, like I married a foreign woman, and one of the issues that we've one of the issues I would say she had was that I really wasn't ready to like let go of my job, my house, my car. Now, I mean, now those things I could rent out. I could rent out my house. I could maybe rent my car out or do something with it. Um, things that I'm going to do anyway. But even me doing some type of business, salute IBN, the global spinner, remote business. Um, some people rely on YouTube, but I make well over six figures. So talking to people, even people that's uh, even people that's wiser and older than me, they say, I mean, a lot of them say, don't just give up something. Just be patient when it comes to certain things. So to make a long story short, I don't want to give up my salary to live in another country. If I got laid off or something, that's different. But quitting a good paying job, you know, um, to be in a third world country to make maybe 50% less, maybe 60% less. It's a trade off. It might be a trade off, but still, like in a lot of ways, making money. There's no country greater than the U.S. when it comes to making money. What what's your thoughts about that?
I mean, my thing is that I refrain from making blanket statements. Everybody's situation is different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, what works for you might not work for anybody else. It'll be extremely difficult for me. I mean, even for me, I have a good steady pension, retirement, social security, disability. I make way more than enough to live comfortably, but with the advent of a lot of these IT jobs now where you can work remotely,
Mhm.
you're talking about pulling anywhere from 150 to 250, $300,000 a year working remotely.
That's
You know what I'm saying? If you get the right certifications, cloud, AI, things of that nature, if you're willing to put in the time to get that, which allow you to to move. I mean, you can still work that job making that type of money while you're getting certifications that will allow you to still make that income
right.
and live anywhere that you want to live. I mean, there was something interesting you said about what you give up. And to be honest with you, I gave up a lot of stress, bro.
Mm.
I gave up a lot of stress. I gave up the political craziness that goes on in the US. I gave up the high cost of living. I just gave up the day-to-day struggle. Granted, going to Cambodia, which is a country that's about 25 years behind Thailand
Mhm.
in most things, but it's one of the most fastest emerging economies in Southeast Asia. The beauty of it is I'm only a 50-minute flight from Bangkok, which has world-class healthcare.
Right. Right.
Malaysia has world-class healthcare. Singapore has world-class healthcare. So on an emergency basis, I can get what I need. There is a transition. You can't just run out to Walmart. You just
Right.
can't run out and get some of the things that you would normally get. But the trade-off is the peace of mind.
Right.
My kids are grown. My youngest graduated from college last year. My mom is straight. My sister, things of that nature. So, you know, I'm in my early 50s. So it's like, it was a no-brainer for me. And me just being able to find a country where I could rent a house for $400 a month. I don't need a car. I can get a car if I want to, but I don't really need it.
Right.
But
Right.
again, that's an individual choice. Everybody's situation is different. So I would urge brothers that sit on here and say, "Oh man, you should just give it up and do this." Well, you can't speak for that man's situation.
Now, in the U.S., I mean, I don't know. Did you like have you owned a home or do you still have a home or
I have two rental properties in Atlanta,
okay,
and I was able to rent those out. I got great tenants, and I sold my car, um, sold everything in my apartment that I had before I left.
mhm,
Um, I just literally just moved, and what I did when I moved is I went down to the DR, I went to Colombia, then I ended up in Portugal. I went to the UK for a while to visit family, checking out each one of these places as I went.
mhm,
And then I found a cheap ticket to Bangkok, ended up in Bangkok, went to Chiang Mai up north, went down to Phuket, got ready to sign a lease on an apartment in Phuket, and they said it's not going to be ready for a week. So man, I said, why don't you just shoot over to Cambodia, go check out Angkor Wat, the ancient temples. It's only a short flight. I went over there for a week, and after about 4 days, I'm like, damn, I'm really kind of digging the simplicity of this place. I really like the people.
Right, right,
They were kind as they were so nice, and the cost of living was so low, and it was centrally located in Southeast Asia with Thailand on the west, Vietnam on the east. Manila's only 2.5 hour flight, 3 hour flight. Um, Laos, Malaysia, all of that. And I said, well, I'll just make this my base.
right, right, right.
Get a small little apartment here, and I can just travel all around Southeast Asia. And that was 6 years ago, and I'm still in Cambodia.
Yeah, that's smart. You know, being in a centralized location where you can go to different countries or different cities that's nearby instead of kind of being isolated in a different country where everything is far away. So that's kind of good. Now, older guys are typically more established. They kind of been there, done that. You know, I'm generalizing, but the thrill of like having your own home or what whatever accomplishments you accomplish. You know, a lot of older guys have experienced the American dream to to a certain extent. Now, guys that never or haven't yet experienced having those amenities in the U.S. or experience an American dream, you know, I know you said everybody is different, but if a guy is still able to achieve that American dream, should he get that off his bucket list before going overseas, or or do you still just think it just kind of depends on that person?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I put on my channel last year, 2 years ago, that there is no utopia,
Hmm.
and that was along the lines of, people talking about relationships and women and marriage and, how far your dollar goes. Every country brings its own unique challenges, right?
Right.
And, the famous, one of the greatest comedians ever, George Carlin, back in the 70s said, they call it the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Mm.
I come back to Atlanta and I'm shocked at gas prices. I'm shocked that if I buy a family meal at Popeyes with two sides, it's $37. Where I can go to a food stall in Siem Reap and I can get basically the same thing for $4. You know what I mean? I mean, there are other things that I can't get as easily, which are going to cost more. So I just think a person needs to be, you need to develop a blue book mindset and a game plan. You know, if you want to buy the house and get it here, make sure you got that locked down, and it's an investment.
Right, right.
You see what I'm saying? And then slowly but surely stack that bread every month and end up making America your foreign country.
Mm. Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I got a house here. I can rent it out, families in it, this and that, and always have a place that you can come back to. If you do move to Colombia, you do move there and things kind of go south and it ain't working, you have a place to fall back at. Because I'm never going to be one of those expats that sits back and I'm just going to dump on America. I served 24 years in the US military. America is one of the greatest countries on the world besides all of its issues. You kind of get to see it. But also, I would say it is a game changer when you get a chance to look at America from 9,000 miles away. When you get to look at America from the outside looking in, you sort of start to figure out, like, well, damn, we're a very, very extremely materialistic society here. Me moving to Cambodia taught me how arrogant I was, how
Mhm.
entitled I was. you know, I deserve this, I deserve that. And I'm looking at Khmer people who the average Khmer person makes between 150 and $200 a month. a month, and they're happy. They're about family. They don't have a lot, but they're willing to share it. And then you come back to America where you got everything at your, right at your fingertips, and people are miserable here.
Yeah.
People are living to pay rent. Car prices are going out the roof. The medical care. I mean, I'm grateful that I'm a vet. Um, it's just astronomical. So you've got to weigh that. You got to weigh your peace of mind and your quality of life compared to. And real quick, I'll give you an example. I was talking to my boy the other day, and I'm like, man, how you doing, man? Are you happy? How are things going? And he was like, man, I just got the brand new Benz, and I moved into a gated community, and I'm at the country club. I'm playing golf. My kids go to the best school. My wife got this job. And I said, dude, you never answered my question. Are you happy?
Right, right.
Or are you living to survive? It's like Cambodia is a 98% Buddhist country, right? It's 98% Buddhist. So in Buddhist philosophy, there's the ideal of impermanence. Everything is a cycle of life, and success is not permanent, but failure isn't fatal either. That car could go, that house could go, that marriage could go, all of that could go in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you got to weigh all of that. That's why I say it's an individual choice. Shout
Shout
out,
out,
Roman, man. I enjoy your content, bro.
shout out, Ronan. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, brothers? How you guys doing?
Good, good,
Good. Good.
good.
It's an interesting topic because you already know, Rob. I'm ready to go, bro. I'm doing it.
Real quick, I wanted to. So something you said in travels that I was gonna get to, and you said having something to come back home to, and I would say a few years ago, maybe like 3 years ago, I was in Colombia for like 3 to 6 months, and at the time, I think I experienced like being laid off or something, laid off, or my contract ran. I wanted it to, and my lease in my apartment was up too. So I put all my things in storage, and I was like, "This is the perfect time to travel. This is the perfect time to like live out the country." I got some money saved up. I'm about to get some unemployment, so I was like, I mean, let me live this. Let me live this expat dream. So I did that for several months. Then it was time to come back to the U.S. So I don't have a place. I don't. So all my stuff in storage. I don't have a place to stay. I do have a car. Somebody watching my car for me. So I come back to the U.S. Now I'm looking for Airbnbs to stay into. I am hitting up some of my fraternity brothers. Like, man, I need to stay with you for a few months until I figure things out. And people was there and understanding, but then it made me realize, like, man, it just didn't feel good. It's like, damn, I'm really homeless and shit. You know what I mean? Even though I got bread and I got my car, and it takes time to find a place. But I was just like, I was like, and then rent going up too. So I'm just like, so that's what kind of prompted me to like, buy a house, which thank God I was able to buy a house. But it did not feel good coming back to the U.S. and not having no home to come to. Man. Like, I can't speak for everybody else, but that just for me that just wasn't that wasn't it just didn't feel good. I'm gonna say that. So let me you can respond to that, and then Rona you
Yeah,
can
I mean, my thing is I feel a huge disconnect every time I come back. 3 years ago was the first time I had been back in the U.S. in 3 years, 3 continuous years of being out of the U.S. And my old homies doing the same thing they were doing 3 years before when I left. I went back to my spot, brothers sitting at the same chairs, drinking the same drink, and it felt like I walked into the same conversation I left 3 years before. And you start to feel this complete disconnect
mm,
from, I mean, even some of your family members. I mean, because they say the same. I mean, how can you live in a third world country? And I'm like, you know what? This is probably the happiest I've been in my life. I was in the military, multiple deployments. I've been to some pretty terrible places. But I'm like, you know what? I'm on the back nine of my life, bruh. And it's like I really want to enjoy it. I want to be able to travel, have my money go further. There and it's beautiful because there's a direct flight on Delta from Incheon, South Korea, straight into the ATL. You know what I'm saying? So if you can deal with that 15-hour flight, then it's cool. But like again, like I say, Ronnie, it's up to you. It's up to the person. What's more important to you? But don't just jump out there. Don't just.
You're absolutely right about that.
I've seen people in Cambodia fail. I mean, horribly. They come over and they get into this mindset of, oh, I got all this money.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? I got all this money.
Yeah, and you hit it right on the head, man. You have to have a mindset for it. It's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Certain comforts that you're used to, that you've been spoiled with here in this country, aren't necessarily available in other countries.
They're not.
Not for the advantages you get for your dollar. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna supplement or offset something for your peace. And you have to get to a point in your life where you pick, do I want to continue in this rat race and stay on this hamster wheel? Or am I ready to jump off and be on my own and do the things I want to do and the time space that I want to contribute to it? The one thing is higher value than anything you can make is your time. How much time are you going to give up to everything else but yourself?
Exactly.
No, that's true. So, all right. So I don't know if you guys ever allowed yourself to experience this in a third world country, but I would say in like Colombia, chicks I've been with. I even allowed myself to like stay at their place, their meager accommodations, just just to experience and like
that's a polite way of putting
it. Yes, it's very fascinating to take a shower. Well, one, if use a toilet that doesn't flush, so that you got to fill it water and pour the water in the toilet to flush it out, or they're pretty much taking bucket showers sometime. Some places like in Baru, they don't have like a water system, so the city brings like tanks of water. And when people get water in the shower, you pretty much got a bucket of water and you take a cup and pour it on you. Like I didn't feel out of place because growing up in the hood and growing up poor, you done seen everything. Growing up, if you grew up in a hood or grew up poor or whatever the case may be. So taking a shower, washing yourself up, it wasn't nothing like it wasn't like super crazy, but I'm saying that to say that there are expats that are living in villages, living in what we would consider shacks, taking bucket showers, maybe a home with not a toilet, adequate toilet, what you call them things, the electric things to like cook on,
hot plate.
Hot plates, yeah, hot plate. Now we can say
that or campfire. A lot of them cook open fire with wood.
I've seen
they have outside. They have outside cooking areas. My girl in the Philippines, she has an outside cooking area where they still have firewood stored and everything else. And man, it's immaculate what she's cooking on and everything that she's doing out there. Man, I'm like, whoa. But the whole thing is, my mom grew up like that. So as I'm telling my mom about what my girl is doing, she's like, "Yo, I grew up like that." She was chopping wood and throwing in a old coal wood burning fire stove back in the day. So she's doing the stuff my mom grew up in the 40s doing. You know what I mean?
Now I could do that. I could live like that in a third world country, knowing that I got a place back home. You know what I mean? So,
You still want that umbrella. You want that safety net somewhere.
But
You got to commit, brother. You got to
Yeah,
commit.
I mean, bro, my first apartment in Siem Reap, Cambodia was $100 a month. It was a 1 bedroom. It had running water. It had a shower, but no hot water.
okay.
I didn't have a refrigerator. I had a styrofoam cooler that I went and paid 25 cents a day for a block of ice. I had the one-eye butane stove that you got the little aerosol can that pops in.
Mhm.
I bought a pot and I bought a frying pan and a couple of utensils, and that was $100 a month. But when I got the apartment, I never asked the woman, did it have hot water?
You
I
didn't
never
care.
asked the woman, did it have a refrigerator? I never asked the woman, did it have a stove? I assumed that it
It
had
was
all of
coming.
this until I walked in. Thank God it had an aircon unit because it was hot as hell. But that's when I said earlier, that's when I realized how entitled I was.
Mhm.
But I've seen like my girl that I've been with, when we go out to the province to see her sisters where they live in a 1 bedroom house that's on stilts because during the rainy season
Floods, yeah.
floods. They cook outside on that they got a little hearth, a little concrete thing.
Mhm.
They cook outside, but you know what, dude? I will say this: they're happy. They are happy.
So much happier.
Now, let me play devil's advocate real quick. You know, because when we say happy, when people hear that, some people may feel like, well, that's just how the slave masters looked at the slaves and say, oh, they look so happy, and they're what they
Wow.
but are they really happy?
Hey, bro, I think the context needs to be: there's a difference between having what you need addressed and having what you want.
Mm-hmm.
They got a roof over their head, they got clothes on their back, they have food to eat, and they have communal family meals every night.
Right.
Every night. So when I say happy, I'm talking about their happiness quotient. You know,
Right.
if you compare the quote unquote quality of life, no, they don't have the big cars, they don't have the big houses, they don't have the big, walk-in refrigerators and the 80-inch, 100-inch TVs and all that. But you know what? They don't care. They really don't care.
Just to add to that, Ed, is they don't miss nothing they ain't had before. We're the ones missing it because we had it. They're not missing it because they've never had it or had the desire to have it. They might see Americans live a certain way, but since they've never experienced it, it's nothing for them to miss. So it's us that would have to actually acclimatize and adjust, not them.
Because if I tell my girl I'm going to the little store and I'm going to go buy some shorts, and the shorts are $15, she's like, "Oh my God, you're going to pay $15 for some shorts?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Hold on, baby." And then that night, she'll take $50 I give her, and she'll come home with a trash bag full of shorts, shirts, socks, underwear. And I'm sitting there like, what? I had to sit back and it was almost like the tuk-tuk driver took me to the store and I got ready to hand him $5. She was like, no, give him $2, give him $1.50. And I'm like, what? She's like, he's gonna make $5 the whole day. And you're giving him what he makes. So I had to totally change my mindset because initially I was just blowing money over there.
And they were loving you for it.
They were loving me. Absolutely, Ronan. I mean, I walk into a bar, bro. I'd be like, oh man, I got miles for everybody, I got shots for everybody. My bill come up to $25. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Then I started to realize, like, look, bro, you have got to rein that in. You've got to rein that in. You know what I'm saying? You got to change that mindset when you get there. But just like William said, they've never had it. They've never ever experienced it. And
let me ask you guys this. So, the first time let's say the first time you bought a home, or the first time you got that high paying job, how many years of having that did it take for you to say, okay, been there, done that, or to get out your system?
When I realized I didn't have a home, I had a mortgage.
Mm.
I didn't have a car. I had a car payment.
Mm. Say
and I
that.
had insurance and I had maintenance. I remember I bought my BMW M5, and I remember the first time I had to take it to Nally to get an oil change, or the first time that I had a transmission leak, or when I sat back and said, "Okay, I want to rotate the tires on my car," and then the tech laughed at me. He was like, "Dude, you got two different size tires. You got bigger tires on the front, smaller tires on the front. Ain't no rotating, bro. You just got to buy brand new ones that are sitting there hitting you up for $500 each tire." You know, and I started to realize that I'm living my life to pay bills. I'm never going to be independently wealthy as long as I work for somebody else, no matter what they pay me.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So if I can sit back, especially now with the advent of remote work, you know, dude, if you figure this, in Cambodia is 4,100 real Cambodian real to $1. So basically 1,000 real is 25 cents.
Wow.
Right. So imagine I'm making 100,000 US. Let's say 60,000 US. I'm making 240,000 real.
You are making 1% of the top 1% of people of wealth in that country. Same thing with me in the Philippines, and why I'm moving there. I'll be in the 1 percentile.
I think the Philippines
highest
are
earners.
some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, they are. They are. And just to add to what you were saying, I conveniently, like you, being where you're at, you're conveniently close enough to where you can fly to a VA or a top quality hospital. You know, same thing with me. Where I'll be moving to, there's an airport right in that city. All I have to do is take a hop right to Manila on Cebu Airlines if I need something major done. Yeah. But it's that close. It's like within 200, 300 miles, but it's easier just to fly into her town because she lives in a mountain area up north of Manila. But yeah, it's conveniently located to where I won't be missing out on anything. If I want that creature comfort, I can fly into town to do that, or, you know, do whatever. Yeah, your light's out over there. I don't know what you're doing.
Hey,
Turn on the light. Yeah.
Hey, Ronan, I'm gonna give you a game changer. Back in December, I went to Pattaya, talked to my boy Alan. He got a government contract where he opened a VA clinic in the DR in Santo Domingo, and now they just opened a VA clinic in Pattaya.
Really?
So anything that is service connected, you can get treated in Pattaya, Thailand.
I saw that Chocolate Man in Thailand went there, and it was happened to be closed that day, but he was going to go and do a whole walkthrough on that new location in Pattaya. Yeah,
3-story facility right by the beach. Hey guys, I'm gonna drop off real quick. I need to make a call, and I'll check and see where you guys are. Okay. But hey man, keep it up, Ronan. Good luck going to there, man. Hit me up.
Man, I'm looking forward to it. And since you right there in Cambodia, like you, that's your home port. That's going to be my home base. I'm still going to be traveling around Southeast Asia areas. You know, I'm still going to take a hop to Europe from there, but I'll be taking my girl with me. So it's going to be the experience not only for me, but me seeing the experience of her traveling for her first time. She hasn't even gotten a passport.
Hey, bro, I took my Khmer girlfriend to Thailand, and the joy that I got seeing her experience new things meant everything to me. So I know exactly how you feel.
Exactly. And I'm in that point in my life where I get more joy because I take sand to the beach. Everybody knows I've traveled, but I usually have somebody with me. And why are you doing that? Because I actually get more joy out of watching somebody else experience those events that I have already experienced or already done, 5, 10, times already. So it kind of gets redundant, but to see it in somebody else's eyes brings you even more joy, especially somebody you care about.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna drop off. I'm gonna check you guys out when I finish this call.
All right, brother.
Peace to y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I kind of want to know if the Cambodian chicks are the curvier.
Oh, bruh, man, there's some fine Cambodian chicks, and yes, they have curves. Yes, they have curves.
Are they the curvier Southeast Asians, or are they like?
I would say they're curvier than Thailand. they're curvier than most Filipinos. They have curves on them. There's a couple American Cambodian chicks there that are like drop dead gorgeous that I've run into. You know, but again, you know, in the Asian culture, you can Uncle Guns is he's on point. That's my mom, but he's a Navy guy, so he's been all over the world too.
Okay.
But yeah, he kills me with this shit, man. He comes up with the greatest comments. But yeah, there's some nice, very nice Cambodian women out there, and they do have curves on them. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for, man. It's really does. Are you looking for peace and a feminine voice versus just a body and an attitude? I've done the body and the attitude. You know, I want the peace, a body, and all that too. And
I want low cost too, man.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, the Latin women still want you to have that machismo. They still want you to have that little edge to you, and I can do it, but bruh, nah. I want that soft spoken voice, the service. You know that to know that she's gonna rub your head, she's gonna rub your whatever you want. She will do that for you to have peace. Asian women just to me have a higher level of attentiveness over the Latin women or even African women to a point.
So what's your thoughts on younger guys? Well, maybe older guys too. That's just say I'm gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna just figure it out.
I mean, if you have the wherewithal and the income to do it, and you're not stressed, then that's the whole thing with people. Anybody. Are you stressed over income? If you're stressed over income, then no place is going to really make you happy until you can get that under control. Once you have that under control and you can command it, then you should be able to go anywhere. Look at Austin. He's figuring it out, 25.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's plenty of people out there figuring it out, but they have the wherewithal, the income coming in to where they have that freedom to do that. And if you put yourself in those type of positions, then why not? Go figure it out. Go to here. Like Ed was saying, he went to several different countries first before he settled into Cambodia. And even with Cambodia, it was going to be a temporary thing until he kind of just felt at home and more at peace there. Then he made it his home port or his home base. Not that it's going to stop you from traveling, but at least find somewhere where you can fly out of that's centrally located. America is not centrally located to everything else you want to get to.
That's true. It's not.
Anywhere. I mean, even Africa, some places in Africa are even more convenient than flying out of America to get places. You get what I'm saying? So Asia, centrally located to where you can get places, whether you're talking about the rest of Southeast Asia or even ports into Europe or Dubai, and then go from there. So unfortunately, while we might be one of the greatest countries and not even the greatest, but one of them, we're not centrally located to where it's convenient to travel.
Yeah. But, a lot of older guys are able to be expats. And, obviously it took a long time to get to that point.
Right.
With the movement and with so many, so many things, young guys see overseas, they want to rush. A lot of them, a lot of us want to rush and do it, and want to kind of, let's say the average expat is in his mid 50s and older, where guys in their mid 30s, they don't want to wait to their 50s to be an expat. They want to do it now.
I'm not mad at them. I mean, really, if you look at a lot of the older expats, a lot of us have traveled because we're in the military. So we had those experiences in our 20s and 30s, like these guys are wanting to do now. We had it a little more conveniently because that was our job as well. So we got to travel and do our jobs all at the same time. So the younger kids now, they have the ability to do cyber jobs, whether it be cybersecurity or whatever, and become nomads and live abroad and still travel. I would say That would be a good route to do. I mean, to me, certifications are where they are. I don't really care about, and not anything against anybody who has a degree, but there's a lot of guys out there starving even though they have degrees. They're having to get secondary, third type of trainings, retrain depending on where the infrastructure is going. Right now, chips. There's a whole new edict that Biden signed off on called Chips and Science Act. So if you're not into processing of microchips and different things like that, he's trying to move that back to the United States. So he's paying for the infrastructure to have that done. So if you're looking to stay here in the United States, that's a good place to be. But if you're not, and you're looking, you have to find jobs and interest where it affords you the ability, even at a young age, to travel and maintain a decent income coming from America. Anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, you'll be fine in damn near any country you go to.
Right, but we know everybody can't. Well,
right.
Everybody isn't able to do like IT. Maybe they don't have the mental know-how.
Right, and that's understandable too. Yeah.
I'm in one of my WhatsApp groups, with some with in the organization I'm in. They always post jobs, and what they're making now, entry level, is way more. When I started, got out of college, like in Chicago specifically, like a state trooper, entry level was starting like 90,000. Some counties, firefighters making six figures like entry level.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, if I was in my young 20s and entry level was 90 to 100,000, I would want to choose that over thinking about being in another country. Like I want to stack. I would want to be able to.
But you got to understand that job comes with risk, and that's why you're getting paid that amount of money.
Right.
I mean, just like the military, that job came with a risk. A firefighter, that job comes with a risk. Law enforcement, that job comes with a risk. So the pay needs to equal out the risk factor of what you're getting paid. Now, can you do a desk job and make that much money without risking your life? Absolutely. If you're trained right and you have the right degree or the right certifications and the right type of job, it's up to you whether you want to risk your life. If you're not an alpha male, I can't see a beta or somebody else trying to go and get a job with the police department. You get what I'm saying? So again, it's kind of catered towards the type of personality of the person you're dealing with, whether they want to take those jobs. Booker T just came in here, said crypto, real estate, stocks, and entrepreneurship. He's naming off a whole bunch of things that don't cost your life as part of the currency in order to get that income. You know what I mean? So then that's a cost analysis in itself. Are you willing to risk your life for the type of job that you're doing in order to equate out that income?
But in the meantime, fellas, there are very good jobs that I'm seeing coming up. Entry level, no experience.
Mm-hmm.
85,000 and up. You know what I mean? So while you figuring it out,
grab them up. Yeah, do what you got to do. Stack your cash, invest it well.
Yeah. Now, it's two sides to a coin. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great examples of what expats are doing. But I got to talk about the downside too. I see somebody tried to come up, but your connection might not be doesn't seem to be strong enough. But yeah, like the white guy, Ryan Trout, it was older white guy, and I remember I watched a video he was saying, and he was telling his audience, he has sex with all the girls he could imagine between Uganda and Kenya, and he was like I said, he was living in a village, very, very, very meager conditions, and he was just saying like how he ran out of money to the point where he was needing help from locals. I mean, they barely could take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna have to go back to the US and figure it out. But there's like I don't have nothing. And he's probably like in his early 60s. And I'm just like, damn. Like is get. I mean, I'm not saying his motivation is a nut, but it's
What's
just,
that old phrase? Piss poor preparation leads for piss poor performance.
yeah, but he had money though. He said, he
You can
lost
have
his
money, but have poor money management.
That's true.
Again, preparation. How do you know? You know how money works. You know how to make it, but do you know how to keep it? Do you know how to budget it? Do you know how to make it draw out? You know what I mean? So, I know a lot of these kids are running around making good money, but it seems like they're struggling. They're not keeping it.
Yeah, I just seen an article on Jamarcus Russell got arrested. Uh, he was like a quarterback, a first round draft pick from LSU, and I think they said he made at least 136 million over his career, and now he was like volunteering at a high school,
Wow.
and he was stealing, and he stole some donation money. But I'm just like, damn, But to your point though, regardless of how much money you accumulate, if you don't know how to manage it or invest it,
Right.
You're going to lose it anyway.
Exactly. And we know this. I mean, you study finance, so I know you know. It's not about making it, it's how you keep it.
Zero to Hero says, I think it's only worth it to be an expert if you have money. You should be in the top 10% of that country.
1%, not even 10. You're in the top 1%.
People trying to be experts on a hope and a prayer. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying, and that's what I'm trying to address, because we know some great examples of expat.
You don't want to say his name?
Like good examples or bad examples of expat.
Bad examples. Good example of bad examples. Let's put it that way.
Good examples, that people recognize, like Taylor May, retired.
Yeah.
Andre
crossing borders, married and doing well for himself. Even Zoom to Thailand.
International Zoe.
International Zoe. Yeah. There's a very good list of people to follow, not the J Rillos of the world. Please don't do that.
But most of those guys I just named are probably 50 and up.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of younger guys that are low key. I mean, I don't want to throw dirt on the guys that are traveling. I think there's a guy named Skyler. I think he does like some type of investment type of job. You got the young kid, Flight Madness. He's doing some type of job. He's home ported in China. A lot of these young kids are, and I'm calling them kids because they're in their 30s. I'm sorry. My oldest son is 38 years old. So excuse me when I say kids. I'm actually 56. So, but there's a lot of guys in their 30s that are figuring it out. The ones in their 20s are still struggling. But if you're in your 30s, I think those guys are handling what they're doing quite well. I mean, even Travelversity, there's so many of them out there that are still, holding it down, putting out content, and moving well. Look at my boy Bert Ross. Bert is out there, man, doing his thing, low key, just stomping around the planet, man. I'm like, dude, you need to get on a mic. You need to start telling people what you're doing. Stop moving like that and not sharing it. You know what I'm saying? Because he does such a good job at it, and you got It's Jay Clyde, damn near married, living in a high-rise apartment in Colombia. One of the places they say you shouldn't go to, Medellin. He's living the life right there in the middle of it. No drama ever.
Now, do you let me tell Uncle Guns, I'm not streaming from the No Excuse channel. I'm streaming from the Passport Bros podcast channel.
Yeah, promote that one for him, please, Uncle Guns.
Now, Ed Travel said, men should have a home to come home to in the U.S. Do you feel the same way?
Initially, I will not have one. I moved down to Texas specifically to buy a house. Then when I started talking with this chick and doing the things I'm doing and the way I'm moving, I will probably buy a land in the Philippines first. You know, as the relationship goes from there, then possibly coming back and buying a house here.
Okay.
You know,
But
and all that house would be for is a legacy for my older kids. Because the house in the Philippines would be for the legacy of the children I have with her.
right.
You get
But
what
at
I'm
least,
saying?
but you're in position to pull the trigger if you wanted to, you know, and there's so many
Yeah.
words. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, especially as an expat, or not even an expat, as a veteran here in Texas, man, it's a done deal. Especially a service connected veteran, you don't pay property tax, you don't pay anything. Damn near closing costs covered. You
Now,
know, so there's a lot of advantages for owning a home as a veteran here in the United States. You know, before even going overseas.
so with that said, even let's take a step back. Let's say you don't have a home or place when you come back.
Mhm.
You gotta have two things to get a home: credit and income. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So if in my this is just my advice, you know what I mean, especially to younger guys. If you're gonna live somewhere, if you're gonna be an expat, you know, at least have an 800 plus credit score in the US. That's gonna help you out. If
Hell
you
yeah.
need money, get a credit card, a loan. If you got an 800 plus credit score, so I just want guys to have something that you could fall back on if you do be an expat, and having credit at the minimum, at least have an 800 credit score. Make that your top priority before you leave the US. You know, have a
Well,
good credit score.
Even while they're gone, they should be stacking cash. Why? Because they're living so much cheaper than they were here in the United States. The amount of income you're making, you're not spending. You should not be spending overseas. So you should be banking that. You should be paying down whatever debts you had, whether they were student loans or whatever. By the time you come back to America you should have an 800 credit score. You shouldn't have a blemish on your credit record, because you shouldn't be here in the United States running up any kind of credit when you're living overseas for damn near pennies on the dollar.
That's true.
So by the time you get back here to want to buy, you should be straight. If you wanted to put it down on a house, you could. If you wanted to totally furnish that house once you brought it, you should. You could. You get what I'm saying? You should have full ability to do whatever you want. If you lived overseas for 4 to 5 years and you just made sure that you paid down all your debt based on the fact that you're living at a lower income rate, you should be fine by the time you come back here. Matter of fact, that's a good way to fix your credit. Go overseas and live over there for a while and pay down all your debts. Pay down all your, get your credit straight. By the time you come back here, man, you clean as a whistle. You can get anything you want.
Yeah, the moment you step foot, the credit is so good that I know people with perfect credit scores, and they don't, and let's say they're just looking for a job, their credit score will get them approved without them even doing an employment verification check. Like they just
Yeah.
know, like, okay, we can trust this guy. We don't need to check anything further.
Bruh, not only would you come back, you would have money in your savings and your checking. So they look at your debt to credit ratio. They're seeing that you have multiples, tens of thousands of dollars sitting in both accounts, not really doing much with it, is just sitting there. Who's going to tell you no? Nobody. They want you to access that money. Matter of fact, they want access to that money that you sat there and saved. All you're doing is leveraging your income against that loan. So you're tempting them to back you. Now, you go in there and you ain't got a penny to fucking pot to piss in, and you trying to get a loan, you barely have $500 in your bank account. Of course, they struggling to approve you. You got 20, 30, 40, 50 plus thousands of dollars in your account. They ain't got no problems with you, especially if you have a high credit score. You get whatever you want because they want you to default. They want you to pay those late payments. They want to get you in that system again.
Uncle Gunn said, I'm working on an apartment complex for guys to bunk bed to get out of debt and get their life. That's a good idea,
Mhm.
man. That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
it's
More
an outstanding idea.
more to come when I get my channel going. Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea, man. Even when I was when I had to, when I had to meet the requirements to buy a house, and I was like between Airbnbs and staying with some of my frat bros, you know, that cut a lot of, that allowed me to meet my saving requirements from my lender. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't
Mhm.
paying rent, I was probably throwing them a couple hundred a month, and so I was able to save, get certain things in order. And so yeah, that's a great thing. Guys, men, young men, older men, if you need to get your life together, it starts by just
Mhm.
downsizing, and we can get back up quick. You know what I mean? 6 months, a year, is not a long time. You know what I mean? To just be out the mix, get your shit together, and be back on top. But yeah, you gotta
Right.
downsize. You gotta humble yourself. If you gotta live with somebody, if you got a roommate, you know, you might not be able to fuck with no women because you can't be broke trying to mess with women. But just leave women
But
alone.
again, the guys we talking to shouldn't be wanting to fuck with the women in the United States anyway. They're wanting to go overseas. So
That's true.
no.
That is very true. I'm thinking about like college. Um, when I was in college, I would say that I wasn't as responsible like with like loans and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But just knowing like how I moved, like if I would have known about like the travel stuff and me wanting to learn another country, I would have I would have maybe did a semester overseas where I could take classes online. And I ain't gonna lie, like my refund checks used to be like between 5,000,
Wow.
7,000.
Wow.
One moment it was 10,000 refund checks to cover my living expenses.
Oh yeah, you could be living large on that overseas while you going to school.
So yeah. So I'm in school for a semester, taking online classes. I'm getting let's say a $5,000 or more refund check. Um, yeah, you know, and getting the best uh, treatment that I could ever experience in the U.S. So that would have been sweet. Now, how my when my grades would have been tight, I can't really my concentration would have been on school. I can't really say,
Yeah,
but
at that
yeah,
age, yeah, you could be easily distracted. So that could be a little bit of a downfall with that. But yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
I mean it's you got AI now. You got people using AI to do their classwork.
Mhm.
Um,
I
I've
wonder how
talked.
they check for that now.
They have systems to check. Uh, I was talking to some of my nieces about that. They got systems to check that. But and a lot of some women I talked to in Africa, they actually get paid. People, it's crazy how I'm gonna say them folks get ahead because there's like women in Africa saying that there are people that pay them to write papers, and
Hmm.
I was like, damn, you know what I mean? So they're outsourcing their schoolwork, papers, the people in Africa, man, to do their work. I was like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I mean, even if you have like an AI write your paper, all you have to do is go back in and retouch it.
Yeah,
Change a couple phrases to how you would say it and keep it pushing.
yeah,
And this is the thing I used to tell people about college. My major was architecture. You were in engineering and or math, and all
mhm,
college is just showing a job or company that you know how to take in information, understand it, and regurgitate it.
yeah,
That's all it's about to prove that point. You can do that so much easier in your life experiences. Your life experiences is teaching you so much more faster than you trying to learn it from a book, because there's no practical application in a book. It's just a book.
There's so much game, like there's so much things. Like if I had the knowledge back then, what I would do now, like $10,000. When was I in college? $10,000, like over 20 years ago, in a third world country, I could have built a house.
Yeah,
I could
I
have built.
passed up on a few. Yeah, I did.
I wasted so much money, man, without knowing, man. And then, I didn't really think about doing those cultural exchange programs, like studying abroad for a semester. That would have been sweet too.
There's a young man just came in, Style King, man. That dude is doing it up too. I mean, he's traveling. He has multiple properties. He's
Salute,
not that
Style
old of a
King.
man. Style King, you're more than welcome to come up, man. So he's traveling heavily, and he's still got multiple properties. He always looks at investing, so he's not wasteful at all. And he's moving like I said, there's a lot of young guys out there moving under the radar, ain't publicizing a lot of their stuff,
Yeah.
But they're doing it properly, and building wealth and resources at the same time.
It's so much game out there. Like Antonio said, if we only knew back then what we know now, yeah.
True facts.
Credit, like I said, credit.
From women to credit to everything. If we only knew then.
In college,
Oh my God, I would have been a demon, even more so.
Man, it's so much, man. When it comes to trying to be an expat, man. Al said I wasted a lot as well, man. Man, niggas used to get I started college in Chicago, so niggas get the refund checks. We buying Timbs. Yeah. I'm buying like Averex coats. We buying winter coats. It's a splurge.
$2,000-$3,000 of rims and tires on your car. You just bought it on the wrong things.
Because we wasn't getting we was in college, so we wasn't getting tax refunds yet. But we was getting them student loan refund checks.
Yeah.
Man.
Not even paying down on the debt either.
I know, right? I know, right? It's just like, man, it's just so much. I remember it was a Brazilian chick. She went to the University of Chicago. I was naive to travel. She was so fun. And I was just like, man, like if I could only go where it was more you at. And little did I know, man, like I should have just been trying to get to Brazil, because she was in a culture.
I mean, at that age where you focused on wanting to be a traveler, I mean, has that always been in you when you were younger, when you were going to college, or did it kind of evolve into something like that after whatever your life experiences were? What made you want to start traveling?
It evolved because, up until when I first traveled, like the U.S. to me was popping. The U.S. couldn't nobody tell me shit about a DR, Brazil. I'm like, nigga, it's popping. Like it was, and it was. Like when I had fun.
It was and is. It's just the perspective.
I don't know where people are from at the chat, but I remember the first time going to the Kappa Beach party in Texas. There used to be this event called the Players Ball in Southern Illinois. That shit used to pop. I think Nashville had what Nashville used to have. Tennessee. We used to go to some events in Tennessee, like the homecomings. Yeah.
The Battle of the Bands was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
All the HBCU bands, all the Battle of the Bands shows, man, that was a big deal for a long time.
Yes. Yeah. Now you bringing up stuff. Yeah. When I went to Howard homecoming for the first, I was like, oh, Howard was DC. Howard. It was crazy. So I had fun. It was the U.S. was popping, but I think when I really started to like want to get serious and settle down, that's when I seen like bullshit. When I didn't want to play no more, that's when I started seeing like, damn, these chicks really ain't trying trying to settle, man. You know, at least the bad ones. You know, that the average looking ones. You
But
know,
that's when we were young. That's the ones we wanted. We wanted the bad ones. We didn't want those sweethearts. We wanted the ones that had edge to them. You know.
Exactly. And I was like, damn, man, I can't get no bad chick that want to settle down. So that's what I was like, you know what? I'll give me a bad chick from a foreign country. That's kind of what made me think about traveling overseas. It's not like for me. It wasn't about not getting women or I got bad chicks to smash, but the bad chicks they just didn't want to settle down. So I'm just like, I might have to I got to get a more humble bad chick. So that's kind of what prompted me to travel overseas.
Yeah, unless you wanted some rural country town somewhere. You're right.
Booker T said it takes time to build wealth. There's a reason majority of millionaires are 60 years old. Yeah, it does. It does take time to build wealth.
Even though with the advent of the internet, social media, and different things like that, there's more an advantage for younger guys to hit it quicker than us older guys that didn't have these type of access to the wealth module that social media gives you. You can actually literally get people donating hundreds of thousands of dollars to you a year.
Yeah.
Just because they like you. There wasn't nothing like that back in those days.
Now, would you say that if a guy having a child, if a guy gets a woman pregnant, it's going to hold him back from moving overseas?
Absolutely. It held me back. I already have 4 kids, man. Yeah, I wasn't going nowhere for a minute. Not that I was in arrears or anything, but it still wouldn't allow me to leave for a long period of time because I wanted to be present in my kid's life.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere I could have gone and stayed. It would have only been the weekend warrior to, every couple months. Because I had my kids on a regular cycle. I was not an absentee dad. I had them every other weekend. I had alternating holidays. I was present at their games and things like that. You know what I mean?
A lot of guys are, like I said, there are a lot of guys that do have kids that's kind of slowing them down. So I feel for y'all, man. I did my bed. My bed is up.
I'm a 4-time offender. And I am on parole, 100% paid, no arrears, nothing.
Yeah, man. But yeah, you mentioned Austin earlier, man. He's a very unique situation, man. Him being able to be young, because he's my son's. He's a year older than my son, and it's just like, man, he's doing some amazing things at that age, man. And I gotta ask him like what prompted him to travel or what got him even onto the travel space, man.
I think he's addressed that a couple of times, and I think it came down to him just noticing, the American women's attitude, and he said, "I'm not even going to put it on just black women. All women here in the Western Hemisphere have this sense of entitlement now, to where, oh, I'm the prize. I don't need to do shit. All your money is still my money. I don't need to put in on anything." I was always raised a marriage is 100-100, not 50-50. It's 100-100. Some days I'm gonna put in damn near 98, and she might put in 2. And some days when I might be down, she might have to pick up the pace. You work together, and it not only is just financial; it's mental support. Different things like that. It doesn't have to be all financial. But a marriage is 100-100. Nobody has a fucking safety net when it comes to a marriage. Your safety net is within each other. You know what I mean? When you say 50-50, that means you got some kind of nest egg or safety net somewhere. Hold up. What man got a safety net? We functioning in at 100. They the ones sitting over there even complaining about being in it for 50%. Men already know we function without umbrellas. We don't have no safety net. If we don't build it, we don't have it.
That's true. And I want to define expat real quick. So by definition, if you live anywhere that you live at least 181 days out the year, you're considered a resident of that place. So basically, if you're somewhere 6 months combined in out a year, then you can technically consider yourself an expat.
Okay.
Shout out to Style King, man. What's good, bro?
What's up,
Hey,
bro?
salute to you, brother. How you?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Where you at right now?
I'm still in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, I
I
thought you
feel
were. I thought you were in Brazil a minute ago.
I was in Brazil, man. I feel so bad, man. I've been here for like probably about a month and a half, maybe.
Yeah, but you had some goals to come back and do before you went back out there again. Like you were talking about a secondary, another property you were looking at, and some other. This is the guy, like I said, he's moving right at his age. He's got multiple properties. He's doing the right things with his money. He's still moving around the planet. He's looking for that girl, but he ain't found her yet. You know, these are the type of young men that are good examples. You know, oh shit, here comes Darnell. But let's Style King say what he needed to say before you jump in, Darnell. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man, I appreciate the accolades, man. I'm just, just like you guys and everybody else, man. We just, trying to do good, positive things out here, and make that image look a little better. Hopefully, if we can get a couple more voices in the space. But yeah, I'm definitely looking. I'm trying to get this new property, man. I just talked to the broker, so I'm trying to get that done. But I feel bad, like I'm not traveling. I'm like, man, I've been talking to people. Like I'm trying.
What you doing? Man, come on, business versus travel. There's a time and place for each one of them. You're doing a lot.
Oh, you in the property market? Hey, brother, I got a whole acre for you out here, man.
Where you at?
I'm in Phoenix.
Oh,
I got a whole acre for you, brother.
He's like, hold up, wait.
No,
where in Phoenix though? Are you way out in the sticks? Or are you closer to like, prime real estate area?
It's up and coming prime real estate. I'm about 10 miles from downtown.
I can hear you.
Okay, slow down.
You know what I'm saying? Take a look at that sunset. Look at that sunset. You ain't gonna beat that. Yeah. Look at that sunset. Don't that look good? Look at that. Picturesque.
It do look good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Arizona sunsets are very nice, but
that's
again, it's just where you at.
I mean, I got small goals, man. My company, my real estate company is super small. I got
a question for Styles King, man, because a lot of young guys need to know this. So I don't know when you came in yet, but I was stressing that Ed Travel was up here earlier, but we were talking about having a place to come back to if you do leave the U.S. And one of the things that I mentioned was that even if you don't have a home, you want to either have good credit or meet the requirements to get a mortgage. So since you're in the game, you know what I mean. I know guys that have gotten loans through what you call them lenders, people that lend you money before high interest rate. The what do you call that?
Hard money loans.
Yeah. I know people did hard money lending, but do you have to have an 800 plus credit score to get a mortgage? Or
no.
I mean, it depends. This is for Style Kings. Hold on, Darnell. This is for Style Kings.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, I would just say it helps definitely to have I had an 800 credit score for a while, but my credit score right now is not 800, so it still can work. But I mean,
the whole thing is you have leverage now. You have assets.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of different things that go into being able to secure a loan. I think it's just like a lot of things that people on the majority, like we have a collective people that think that if you get a 800 credit score and you got a bunch of cash, then you can go and do whatever you want. But it's a lot of things that go into it besides that, especially when you're trying to get a loan, like your credit history. A lot of us are too young to have a super in-depth credit history, so it's a lot of things that we don't know about that you'll find out once you get your, like, that's what I'm saying, like once you get to the point in life where you getting things and it's going, and then you realize that people don't know what they're talking about when they tell you things about buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
It also depends on what type of loan you're looking for too. You know,
It's very
you know what I'm saying?
complex. Well, it
Yeah,
is for me because I'm a beginner, so it's complex to me. But I guess after like I said, it's about your history though. So you gotta just stay in the game and keep going, and you'll get more and more and more. You gotta stack it up. You can't just think you're gonna jump in the game and take off. It's hard. It's hard to do unless you have millions of dollars to throw around.
Right.
yeah. Like, not that I recommend you do this. Again, this is a don't do, but I mean, you can actually move into a house with 3%. FHA, and actually, Ronan and I, we're both veterans. You know what I'm saying? They got the VA home loan.
Yep.
Um,
Payment. You can
you
go
know,
down payments.
yeah, I think you just got to pay the application fee. I think it's like $1,000. I think that's it.
Yeah. No
But
closing costs, no down.
I think a
It,
lot
it
of
just
us are
depends on
scared
what
to do
state.
it. A
It
lot
just
of people
depends on what
scared.
state. Huh?
it,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was asked. I didn't hear what you said, Stout King. Go ahead.
I was saying just a lot of people are scared to get
Mhm.
that first home, but that's gonna be your number one thing as somebody that doesn't come from a lineage of money. Buying
Yeah.
a home is the first thing that you can do to solidify that, and you just got to make good decisions and pay your bills on time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
You know, to add to that, Style Kings, you got to do it, and that home is also a wealth asset building thing. But the other thing that will help you is life insurance.
yeah.
Life, because they
I'm
ask you
still trying
about
to get
life
that. I know
insurance.
about
They
that.
ask you about life insurance on your loans for a reason, because they know if you die and you have the right amount of life insurance, that loan can be offset by your death benefit. So is that house going to get paid off? Are they worried about a loan? No, they're not, because you have equal amount in death to pay off that mortgage. And sometimes what people will do is they'll take out a mortgage death life insurance policy. The life insurance policy goes down in value as you pay your mortgage off. But it's a lot of husbands will do that. So if they die, their wives don't have to worry about ever having to move out of that home, because that one specific life insurance policy is built to basically pay off whatever the debt is on the home, instantly giving her ownership without any kind of debt.
I didn't know that. That's good. That's good to know.
That's really good info.
Salute, True Prodigy. What's going on, my brother?
Darnell, what? So Darnell, you said you in Phoenix right now?
yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna visit. I'm gonna go out to Arizona next month, man.
Ah.
How close are you to Scottsdale or any Mesa, Scottsdale area?
I am like, well, due to traffic, I'd say about 45 minutes due to traffic.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You closer to Mesa or Stockdale?
I'm closer to, I'd say roughly the same, really.
Okay, so you kind of like in the middle.
I'm
because I know those
west.
two areas. That's why I'm kind of trying to figure out exactly where you're located.
Yeah, I'm further southwest.
Oh, okay.
Of that. Yeah. I mean, but either one of them, like I said, it's roughly, you know what I'm saying, the same distance. But I mean, as far as like Mesa, man, you ain't missing nothing there, man. It's just the fentanyl done took over Mesa.
Yeah, I know.
And then,
pandemic did a lot of bad things to a lot of good areas.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Even before the pandemic, Mesa was bad, man. The
Really?
cops were bad. Yeah, Mesa was just tore up from the flow up from the. It's been bad.
Several people I knew that brought houses out there brand new and watched them being built in those developments out there. I didn't know it had gotten that bad, but this is back in the 90s and early 2000s when they brought them.
Yeah, when I first moved out here in 09, Mesa was, I mean, it had bad areas, but, you know, keep in mind, this is 2009. They had bad areas, but it wasn't too bad. I think what happened, you know what I'm saying, and as the price of everything else went up, because Mesa used to be dirt cheap. You know, when I first moved here, it was dirt cheap, you know, and as far as downtown Phoenix and stuff, you know, everybody started getting priced out and they started moving further and further out. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, Mesa
Of course.
borders. Mesa borders Tempe and Scottsdale.
How the bunnies treat you out there, man?
Well, me, I mean, not so good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Denzel. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I mean, from what I hear though, yeah, man, I mean, they'll mess with some black
Hey, don't
dudes
turn
from
me
what I
into
hear.
QB Willie up in here. You can fix those problems. You can fix those issues.
Shoot,
I'm just saying.
man.
If you know what I'm
Well,
talking about, if you know QB passport flexing, you know he's in
yeah,
the looks maxing.
yeah,
Trim that beard up, brother. Get that haircut.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Just stop it. You can do better.
Hey, man, my ex tried to come back. You know what I'm saying? Or
Nah,
not that I'm
bro. Let
taking
me
them
tell you
back.
something right now. I'm gonna tell you as an older man, you never backtrack in relationships.
Oh no,
All
I
it's
ain't
gonna do
doing
is
that.
remind you why you broke up in the first place.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
even
no,
entertain that hoe. Don't even entertain that hoe.
No acceptance, man.
Nah, I ain't gonna entertain her at all, bro. Like, I mean, matter of fact, I mean, she's legally married, trying to come back.
Oh hell no,
Yeah.
no.
That's what I said.
But you see how twisted they are.
Mm-hmm.
She got in a whole nother relationship. All of a sudden, you just supposed to be so forgiving and let her back in your life.
I know, right? But get this though, man. She lives down in Mexico though, and she married to an American dude. Yeah.
You're jumping in and out. Wow. Or no excuse. You're jumping in and out on your mic.
Hold on. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Oh, Styles Kings, do you want to be an expat?
That's a great question. I definitely would love traveling. Tony in a bit.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
What up, man?
But yeah, man.
I seen y'all was on. So let me say what up. I never catch your live, so.
I
How you
appreciate
doing,
it.
bro?
Yeah, man. What's up, Star King? How everybody doing?
Yeah,
All right,
We
Tyler
good.
Tony, you right there in Africa. So I don't know if you know No Excuse in his African Sunday weeks and his podcast, but y'all should get to know each other because y'all traveling in the same circles.
That's the homie, man.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's the homie, man.
Yeah. We kicked it out here.
Oh shit.
We be chilling. Yeah, no excuse. We be chilling.
So real quick, what was you saying, Styles?
Okay, so I definitely agree with the expat thing. It's just I don't know if I will. I don't know how long I'm gonna be in and out though, because I definitely want to be here, for a couple months out the year to do different things and keep my feet wet as far as the market and things like that. I don't want to get out of the loop yet, but I'm definitely trying to get out the loop on the rat race. So I will be trying to be overseas the majority of the time. If I find something, a reason to be there 100% of the time, then I will be. I never try to make a claim into a definite. I'm still looking for for my other home. So keep my options open.
I still want to be back and forth. Like my ideal situation is to be, let's say, in a foreign country, let's say 8 months out the year totally, and maybe 3 to 4 months in the US totally. So
I can agree with that.
maybe 3 months, come back for a month, another 3 months, come back for a month. Because I got shit I gotta check on. So I can't, what I mean? I got shit I gotta check on. So I gotta come back, man. So Tony, man, salute to you, bro. He is hold on, I don't know whose echo that is. He's somebody that I would definitely like to be like when it comes to being an expat, man. He picked a great country, settled, and living a dream, man. So what did you give up, or did you give up anything moving to say Tanzania?
Yeah, I gave up all my shit. The only thing I have in the States is gold and silver with my parents. But other than that, so I told nigga I had my iPad, couch, bed, OLED TVs. Let them keep all that shit.
So,
But gold and
so when
silver,
you
I paid for, so I need that back. I need that back.
so
What?
and somebody could drop Traveling Tony channel in the chat, but you know you're working on building your dream home in Tanzania. Now,
Yeah.
if you was to ever visit to you, well, you're a full-time expat, so I guess it wouldn't apply. But would you ever feel the need? Let's just say Tanzania. Let's just say the government just say shit just went crazy in TZ, and you was like, man, I gotta go back to the US. Would you feel the need to have something to come back to, like a home, or that's something that you could easily get if you decided to come back?
Well, because I'm a veteran, I don't have to pay property tax, so it's kind of easy to get at home. But that's like last case scenario. We would have to be World War III. You know, currencies are shut down. You know, I have no way to eat or something like that for me. Like going back to America, I would go to another African country before I go back to. So, I'm just keeping it real. If the dollar's still valid, I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
I'm not going.
I mean, my thing is, even in World War III, I mean, technically, you know, damn near all America is getting bombed anyway. Why would I want to be back there?
Exactly. So it would have to be something like I said. They cut off my funding source. Like you know, if the VA
What branch were you in? Army?
I was Air Force.
You're Air Force. Okay. Okay.
So
corporate America.
Chair Force.
hey, I was a cop, man. That shit was whack. You know, I had to be in the woods and shit.
Hey, at least y'all got to wear berets though, man.
Oh, them berets was cooking in the sun though, bro.
Yeah, I used to hate. I hated those. I ain't gonna lie, I hated. Nah, I mean, you talk about cooking. Imagine being at Fort Lewis. I don't know if anybody been to Washington State, but like it's like a rain. It's not a real rain. It's like a mist, constantly hitting your face, and you got this wool beret on. It's always wet and soggy, and the right flap. You know how you fold it over. That right flap is constantly in your eye, man, itching. Ooh, I hated that damn.
Worse though, because Guam will rain for like 30 seconds, and then it's extremely humid for like hours afterwards. Guam is ridiculous. I don't even know why people go to Guam. Nobody talks about Guam because that shit's super.
Oh, I do. That's a hidden treasure. I don't want people to know about Guam. That's the problem.
Okay.
Leave that shit alone, man. That's just that's a small. Yeah, it's Hawaii. It's basically Hawaii.
Yeah, I know a guy that's been out there.
The Chamorro people are cool, but they don't really got baddies like that out there.
I've seen some nice Guamanian women, but I actually had a Guamanian dude that served in the Marine Corps with me. So I had a little more intel once we actually went to Guam one time and ported there. So I actually got to travel around with him and kind of see his version of the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I only went there TDY. I did deployment training there. So that shit was fucking crazy. Imagine that shit. Deployment training in Guam. That shit.
Real quick, are there any I would say bad decisions you've seen expats do, like trying to move overseas or living overseas, whether financial bad decisions or you know they didn't make decisions, they didn't properly prepare leaving the US before they went overseas? Have you seen, and if so, what are some bad decisions that you've seen happen, and what type of things you would recommend?
Everybody makes mistakes, and I think that's something that a lot of Americans are paranoid about. You know, when they're traveling overseas, so you're gonna fuck up, right? You don't know the culture. You're gonna get swindled. Like it's just unavoidable. At some point, somebody's gonna swindle. It's like when the migrants go to America. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the game. You know what I'm saying? They could get hustled easily. You know, sign up for this. Give me your social security number. Got them. You know, like, so shit happens. You know, you just gotta. You said what?
Look, if let's say young guys watching Awesome and saying, you know what, man, I'm about to just say fuck it, man. I'm gonna save $2,000 and just go overseas and just figure it out, man. Like, some people are gonna take that as, I don't know if that's the best advice for a young man to follow without any type of plan. You know what I mean? Like, every man can't be taking these type of risks. There has to be a calculated risk behind it. You know what I mean? So we're influencers to a certain degree. So we're influencing younger men, you know, and they're seeing what we're doing. But I don't want. What I'm saying is, we got a responsibility too to like give some advice. You know what I mean? I don't want to be saying be a risk taker, figure it out. No, I've came back to the U.S. with nothing. Like, it is not. It don't feel good when you have to come back home, or if you got to come back home and you don't got nothing.
That's true. That's true.
I was gonna say something about that when I first came on the panel too, because you was talking about wasting money earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So
Go ahead.
Go ahead and speak on it.
I wasted a shit ton of money. Like, I could have probably bought another house for real, like the money I wasted, and I didn't realize how much money I wasted till I got back home for real. Because I don't know if you guys heard me, when I left Brazil, I ended up wasting like another $4,000 just getting out of Brazil coming home. So when you know, like, once you get to your threshold of what you spending, sometimes that overseas money can turn different. It can hit you, even though you know you're not paying as much for certain things. They can really surprise you sometimes. So that's just life. So just like you were saying, like, you gonna waste money sometimes. Like, I got a car with rims on it. I got all kind of little stuff that you can consider wasteful, but at the same time, you have to be productive and know how to make your money make money, and invest in yourself. So that's gonna be the number one thing. Is regardless of what you're doing, you need to invest in your craft and your everything in your future. Sorry to get off on that.
No, that's a good point. I would say reduction of materialism. You know, like, people come overseas, they want to buy a very nice car in a third world country. Doesn't make sense. You know, why you want to have a glistening ass car and you know, they don't have the same road rules we have, traffic rules. They don't give a fuck. People are driving drunk. You know, like in all these countries, DR, Colombia, people are driving twisted. Brazil, you know what I'm saying? As long as you don't get into an accident, but
that's true.
And also I would say, you know, for men, the number one thing why a lot of men go back is paying too much for coochie. You know what I'm saying? Like, every day.
Facts.
That's the honest truth. Every day they want to, because you need
The
discipline.
economics of buying coochie.
Yeah, you need discipline because it's available every day, anytime. So you spending, you know, $100 a day plus food and electricity and all that shit. That shit adds transportation. People don't factor all those things in. People don't believe, a lot of Americans don't believe in moderation. You know, we don't even eat in moderation.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
very true.
all it takes is moderation, and then you'd be cool. You'd be cool. Like, you could live overseas with. You see, Nomad Capitalist talks about $1,000, $1,500, but that's if you're just living like normal. If you want to, you know, do wild shit.
I realized, like, I was talking to somebody. I'm like, you don't go here, like, you don't go to the Melicon, and they like, no, I don't got no money. I'm like, it's free, like. But then you still spend money. Like, you're gonna spend money regardless. You go to the beach, you're gonna buy something. You're gonna get some food. You know what I mean? Like, but it's hard not to go as an American. When you used to being in the city, you want to go to the beach. You want to go to these different places. So you just got to know that going into it.
It's crazy because people tell me like, how do you live in these countries? Like not just here, but other countries like DR, these other places. How do you live there and not be bored? I mean, what do you do in the States anyway? People aren't like turning up every day. Is every day a fun day? You know, people be in the crib. You know, like, well, so
Real talk.
I don't know. You got to get out of vacation mode. That's what it is. You got to get out of vacation. That's what we call it. Like, you got to get, because at first you're going to be on vacation mode. Like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to see this. I want to go here. I want these girls, that girl. But after a while, you'll be like, oh, this isn't cost effective.
Yeah. You brought up a good point, man. Spending money on box dates, that stuff expensive, man. When I was in South Africa, man, and even though these countries are typically cheaper on cost, I still found myself like spending like a couple $100 a night, going out, buying bottles, going out to eat, buying shisha, hookah. You know what I mean? That shit was adding up, man. So my last Africa trip, man, and I'm just speaking on Africa, but I spent probably like 5 racks in like a month. And I was like, God damn, God. I was like, I can't keep this shit up, man. And I don't even, you know, and I'm not an expat there, but I could just imagine, man, you know, the lifestyle. I could maintain that lifestyle in the US because I'm, you know what I mean, you know, but in another country. And this is the thing that it won't apply to everybody, but this is the thing that applies to me is that I'm splitting my money between my US expenses and this other country expenses. I got two, you know what I mean? Pretty much I got 2 cribs.
Right.
If I decide to get a car in another country, it'll probably be paid off because I won't have a car note in another country. But you know, I got expense. I got utilities. So I'm splitting my resources amongst 2 countries. You know what I mean? That's my reality. So that's why you know, and I'm not ready to give up. I'm not ready to give up all my things in the US. That's why it's hard for me to like be like to be in that expat lane yet. That's why I wanted to talk about this topic because it's like, what would you give up? And I'm not ready to give up.
I'm giving it all up.
I'm not ready to give up my salary. I'm not. They're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get laid off or fired. I'm gonna have to be forced out. I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting my job for nothing. You know what I mean? Now, if I didn't make the money I was making, it'll probably be easier. But that's why you don't see That's why you don't see millionaires overseas. A lot of guys say, "Man, you know these millionaires."
What you mean, millionaires own houses overseas?
No, I'm talking about like expats, like being full time. Like,
yeah, I also thought it was weird. You never really see millionaires as expats.
It's not safe. I mean, if you're
they travel, they move around the planet, but most millionaires, if they're not working a full-time position, they're running organizations or companies where they have to be present.
But we're talking about like 8 months out. You won't see like LeBron James living in Colombia, right? I'm talking about where his money. Who's gonna put? He gotta be around security all the time. It's not even a safe country to even be in making that much money. Like we talk about third world countries. It's not safe. It's not really safe. I can't really think of third world countries that are just so safe for
a famous thing.
A billionaire, huh?
If you're not famous, it's easier to move around, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an extreme case, I would say.
I would say Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, you're pretty safe even if you're a millionaire. Nobody gives.
But most people wouldn't know that you were a millionaire unless you're a popular millionaire, is what he's saying. You get what I'm saying? A lot of millionaires move around very low key. You would not know they were millionaires.
But
you know what I mean?
Platinum Diamond, the biggest artist in Tanzania, lives around the corner from my house. Like he has homeless people outside of his crib, like begging at night and shit. Like I could walk over there. But I don't want to. I don't want to go with my knife and shit. But like, yeah, they got people, begging and shit. Like they'll stay outside if they know you're rich. Like they'll even my wife's father. He has people knock to his gate asking for food and shit like that. It's a little different.
What's today? This is I got 2 more days to the end of the month, man. Hey man, if y'all can support, man, you know, they could cut that check next month, man. I need $15.
You dropping out, man. Right when the mic needs to be up, you dropping out. Hit that mic
Oh
hard and
man,
say that shit.
oh man, y'all can hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. $15 to get me to that threshold so I can get paid on this channel next month, man. So y'all can support, you know, $2 here, $2 there.
Yeah. Please support him.
You know what I mean?
I just need a subscriber. I don't care about the money. Just hit the subscribe button for me, but give him the super chats.
Yes.
I'm actually
hook that brother up.
Hey, Traveling Tony, when you going live, I'll hook you up with a super chat.
I'm
Oh,
talking
word?
about for Passport Broadcast right now. We ain't talking about Traveling Tony, but yes,
I'll go
please
live
go
right
subscribe.
Oh, my bad.
Matter of
I'm
fact,
sorry.
I
Who was
need my
that?
mods. I need all my mods to drop Traveling
No
Tony's
excuse.
channel in there. So
No
if my mods
excuse.
could drop
Okay.
his channel in there, but
He
for
needs $20.
Rob, does it need to be on your Passport Bro podcast or your No Excuse?
Well, I'm only
Yeah.
streaming from the Passport Bros podcast channel. So if
That
y'all
one's the
stream,
one that's monetized.
both of them monetized.
Okay, but which one do you need the $20 on? Do you need it on the Passport Bro?
Yeah, Passport Bros.
Okay.
Passport.
So hit the Passport Bro channel and drop your super chats on there because I know some of us are simulcasting. So, but if my mods could put Traveling Tony's channel in the chat, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna be dropping videos more. I'll go live every once in a while, but my wife's family's about to be here because she's gonna give birth. So
congratulations, your first child.
Yeah, man, my first child to make it. You know what I'm saying? So
I understand that too.
Yeah, man. You know,
congratulations.
So, thank you, man. So I'll be going.
What you say like as in like?
But you dropping out. What's going on with your mic over there?
I'm using my computer mic. When you say about Tony, you're saying like she's about to like any moment, any day?
Like in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, you can pretty much say any day because that could come any day.
Yeah,
now.
pretty much. It could happen earlier. So 2 weeks. So I'll be dropping a lot of family. The whole family's gonna be here pretty much. So
oh man.
Yeah, let me stay here. But I'll be outside. Hey, Salute Style came with the $10 super chat.
Yeah, salute, man. Appreciate the $10 super chat, bro, man.
Always holding it down.
Man, that's a blessing, man. We about to have a Passport bro baby coming. It's gonna be a boy or girl, or you can't say it.
I don't remember. Well, I don't remember, but
Stop that right now. You better control that right
now. They didn't. Babies be moving and shit. So they were like, it could be a boy. I hope it's a boy. It'd be cool. But hey, you got another super chat.
Oh man, Booker T, man. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Said good fortune and safe travel to everyone who reads this, man. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I
wonder if the sun came up. Let me see. I might go to the gym. Oh, my back.
Now, hey Styles, well, I know you was thinking about hitting up Africa or talking about Africa, man. Where you at with that, man?
So right now, like since I've been doing the thing with the working, I'm trying to figure out this Airbnb thing with the properties and stuff. So I'm trying to stay on this side right now, but I really want to go. And that's what I said. That's why I said I feel bad because I really would just like to go and visit at least for a couple of weeks to test it out.
Okay, any particular country?
I was thinking about Kenya, but now I'm thinking more about I don't know, maybe still Kenya, but maybe some countries close to it. What's the country that bro is in? O'Shea?
Uganda.
Uganda.
Yeah, Uganda. That's getting on my radar now.
I want to hear your take on Uganda. That's gonna be fun. Please go there.
You think so?
Please go. I want to hear.
Why do you say?
There you go, bro. You good?
I went there. I want to hear your
You
opinion.
good there, Rob?
Yeah, man.
You don't
Oh,
hit the
okay,
goal.
okay. Oh man. Appreciate it, man. Ron Travels, man, with the $20 super chat, man.
Ooh, getting
Salute my
bombs.
brother. Keep putting in the great content, man. Appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you.
What's today? Today is
Today's Saturday for us, Sunday for you, most likely.
yeah, Sunday morning. So even if I go live and I get my $20, I don't think it would count for the next check, right? Or would it?
Well, YouTube, they whatever you accumulate in the 30 days, if you accumulate at least $100, hold on,
Who's
you
got the
accumulate at least,
feedback?
hold on, I don't know who's echoing, but yeah, if you accumulate at least $100 in a 30-day period, then they'll cut you a check the next month. That's how it goes. Because I don't stream on,
Is it
I
a
don't.
calendar? Is it a calendar time frame? Because I haven't monetized yet, so I don't know. So
Yeah, so like let's say it's the month of June, so whatever you accumulate from June 1 to June 30th, if it's at least $100, they'll cut you a check the next month. If it's under $100, they won't cut you a check. They'll just wait till you accumulate. You got to meet $100 threshold before they cut you a check, basically.
okay.
Yeah, I'm at like 87 on this because I haven't been really posting like that.
Oh man, so you need like $15, man. Go live tomorrow, man. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you, man. If you go
Yeah, I'll
live.
go live later. I'm gonna go live later. I might have like a Tanzanian rapper on my live.
Hey,
Oh, that should bring it in right there.
that's gonna be
But
lit.
yeah, he lives in Canada, but he's Tanzanian. He at the gym and shit. Yeah.
So you said
What
you
time is it out there?
Huh?
What time is it where you guys are? It's about like
Central
midnight.
Standard Time for me is 10:39 p.m.
Okay, it's not too late.
it's almost midnight for me.
Yeah, I got 8:39.
But you be up late anyway, Rob.
I know, man. Non-stop, man. Appreciate the follow super chat from Antonio Mays. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let's see.
Damn,
Hey, no excuse. What's your channel, bro? I'm trying to find it. I'm in
Go to
Ronan's.
Passport Bros. If you're on my channel, hit the link that Uncle Guns put in there.
Uncle Guns.
He put his link in there for Passport Bros podcast. Then hit the super chat.
I got a question. Do you
What's
guys
up, Big
think
Mike?
you guys think the Passport Bro shit is dying down?
Hey,
Oh, good question.
you asking a man right there, the myth, the man that got the patent, I mean, the copyright.
I think that, and I can't wait to do this stream like the end of the new year. But like, I feel like this first era, I would say 10-year, this 10-year era from somebody got feedback. Let me look at it. I don't know who the feedback is, but this first era, I think it's the Passport Bros 1.0. Passport Bros 1.0. I think 1.0 is over. And when I say 1.0, 2015 to 2025, that's like, Charles Tyler kind of kicked off, I would say, that era when guys really started to think about international travel. And then, pretty much everybody been hitting Latin America, like Brazil, DR, Colombia. Those the big three. The big three. So I feel like that's over with. Like, you got some of the YouTubers, like the creep cam videos that's getting played out. Nobody's really getting too excited about guys going to, DR. There's not really a lot of excitement around these countries because everybody done seen, the content creators have flooded the market with content on those countries. So I feel like, and then Colombia with the deaths and rules changing and stuff like that. So I think the movement is still alive. I just think that it's about to transition, or it has transitioned to Africa, Southeast Asia, and I think that's going to be the wave for the next 10 years. And people are still going to hit up Latin America, but I think that people are broadening their options to like Africa and Asia, and some people Eastern Europe too. So that's what the next wave is going to be. So I'm curious how that's going to look. But I think in my opinion, I think in this first era, I think Colombia came out on top. I think that ended up being a people's choice. So Colombia isn't going anywhere. People are just gonna approach Colombia probably more of a. This is where the dating coaches come in. People are.
I don't know. No excuse. I think you're a little slanted on the Colombia thing. You know, Style King's a big Brazil guy.
Well,
Why you say that?
Because I know you go to Brazil a lot, but see, No Excuse has a wife that's from Colombia, so I think he's a little, partial to saying Colombia's still in, but the other ones are dropping off. You know what I'm saying?
It's the people's choice. It's the favorite, man.
It's your choice.
I don't agree with Brazil, bro. I don't.
You don't? You going with Colombia too?
I never been to Colombia. Actually, so my trip to Brazil wasn't a positive one. Like, it was a beautiful country, beautiful everything, but the attitudes of the people aren't really like what I'm looking for. So
okay,
it wasn't what I was hoping it would be. That's why I said I spent
Big Mike's in Tokyo.
I spent 4,000 trying to get out of there as fast as possible. So it's
Yep.
like you don't have to run me out the country. Like, you can just tell me that.
He said you only got to tell me once.
But shout out to Brazil. Like, it's a beautiful place, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a shame to have such division amongst people, man. I mean, we got the same thing in America, but it's in the United States, it's just different, man. It's a lot of difference.
South Africa.
You said what?
South Africa?
I said, wait till you go to South Africa. If you talk about
yeah.
I mean, you're gonna see that shit part 2.
Yeah.
Big Mike just made a comment. He said, I'm in Tokyo right now. No passport bros or brothers here. Only military brothers out here. Say that again. Japan is all military, most of us. By the way, Big Mike is married. He has a Chilean wife, so
shout out to Big Mike.
He's in search of a harem, I believe. I don't know if he's gonna stop at 2 or 3, but I know he's out there shopping.
What do you guys think? Like, why do you guys think it's not more bros going to like Peru and Bolivia?
There are now. I mean, now that they've been publicized by so many other passport bros or brothers that have gone down there. Like I know several people that have gone to Peru recently and Chile as well.
Okay.
Between I want to say Austin, QB went to Peru, or Buck Travel. There was at least 4 or 5 brothers that have gone down there within the last 4 months. So now they're all of a sudden wanting to go down. Ecuador is not mentioned as much. Ecuador is another good place.
Ecuador a little dangerous though.
Ecuador is on my radar. I just don't want to talk about it too much because I ain't,
Yeah, see, you don't want to publicize certain things. People keep that shit low key.
Let me shout out the super chat real quick, man. Shout out Donnell, man. Appreciate the $2 super chat, man. He said, "Buy my house so I can move overseas." Damn. All right, man. I'll buy your house, man. How much you want for your house, man? We'll buy your house, man, so you can move, man.
That man, okay.
Take a loss on that bitch and mow down.
Take a loss.
Hey man, let me tell you this. I advise a lot of clients. I had a client that had a gated, guarded community house in California in a nice, affluent area. It was around the lake, and he was my age. His son graduated at the same time as my stepson, and they both played football through all the years. He's a Marine. I said, man, look. I said, if you sold your house and you moved wherever out of the country, or even down south, you could get that same size house for 1/3 of the cost and utilize the rest of your money for other investments or things that you wanted to do. He sold his house in California, He went further than down south. He went to Chihuahua, Mexico, built a custom built house, found his wife, got married in Mexico,
Okay.
and barely spent any of what he had actually had in that house that he had in California.
That's hilarious. Who was that?
Megatron. But even if we talk about those other countries like Colombia, like people are going to venture out, but it's always going to be like a popular opinion or a fan favorite.
Right.
And I just feel like
For some of y'all,
Colombia
I'm not
just
even
came out
interested
on
in
top,
going.
man.
I'm not even interested in going. It's already oversaturated. I'm not.
You get one of them prizes, man. You might be like, ugh. You're gonna be like, man, I don't know
I
about
don't know where I'm going. I'm happy. I got exactly what I need. I don't need nothing more.
Best advice is to avoid the crowd.
Yes.
You see what's happening in Thailand. You want to stay away from where there's a lot of, especially a lot of
Pattaya is oversaturated with people.
Yeah. And it's not even that many. It's just you know, it's hard, it's fucked up to say, but you know, we come with a lot of drama from America. You know what I'm saying? So we fuck places up.
Appreciate the super chat, man, from IBN, the global spinner, man. $5 super chat. He says supporting the content, man.
Salute IBN.
Much appreciated, man. Yeah, what's going on in Thailand? I've heard about. I don't know. I haven't paid attention, but I don't know if brothers was beefing down there. What's going on in Thailand?
I heard about somebody slashing somebody's tires all the way in Thailand. Two brothers getting into it, and a brother slashed his tires, got caught on CCTV like there wasn't no CCTV in Thailand, dummy.
And he posted, he uploaded,
and he posted it. Yeah, he did a live while he was doing it. Like, what?
Oh, that's crazy.
That's feminine as hell.
Exactly.
But they bring in that. They're talking like the hood element, like you ain't street, you ain't that. They bring in that America shit overseas, and that's why I stay out of the popular crowded places, because people want to they want America outside of America at cheaper prices.
That's true. That's true.
That's
I do. I ain't gonna lie. I do. I want America at a discount, but not with the drama though.
See,
I don't want any American software in any of my chicks that I'm dealing with.
So wait. What was you saying about Ecuador being dangerous?
Yeah, it's not. I know some people that live there. I know it's a white guy I know very well. He lived out there before he moved to Colombia. And then Ecuador has some shit go down. The last year with the
it was just about 4 or 6 months ago, I think, where a lot of the foreigners were staying indoors because they were having a little bit of an uprising.
Yeah, it's expensive. Like Ecuador is expensive when it comes to housing. Her imports are expensive.
Yeah, property down there is like running $300,000-$400,000 for condos and things. So it's not that cheap.
They're I've heard they're one of the larger cocaine producers like outside of Colombia, or probably more than Colombia. So I mean they got some.
They're next door to Colombia, so I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been to Ecuador, but I mean, from what I've heard, the women are cool. It's a lot of Venezuelans there, but
Big Mike's coming up with all the weird places to go. Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan. Hey.
I know it's a spot. I know it's a vibe, but I'm just saying, god damn, bro.
I wouldn't sleep on those places. I said, don't sleep on those places. Like,
I don't. There's a lot of European nations that are really good, cost-effective places to move to and travel.
I think they got. I think it's
Turkey is another one. Turkey is a good place to travel.
Don't sleep on those Uzbek women, man. I haven't been to Uzbekistan, but I've been to Dubai, and a lot of them go to Dubai and stuff. And I'm telling you, don't sleep on those Uzbek women.
Oh no, they're good.
Yeah,
you ain't trying to fuck with no chicks going to Dubai.
No, not really.
Right now.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I got it in when I used to go through Dubai all the time, man.
Yeah, but they getting trashed out. in Dubai, pissed on and
The IG models that fly in there. They're flying in there for at least 20K, 25K or so.
Even chicks from
I wasn't
there.
with no IG models now. I wasn't with no IG models.
Even the African girls, they go to Dubai, and they go to Thai. They like a lot of times when you see people in those places,
body parties.
yeah, they doing some wild shit out there.
Oh, yeah.
Even American chicks is going to Dubai getting,
Yeah,
yeah, they know the deal. Yeah.
So it's Uzbekistan. That's Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, that's Southwest Asia. They border Afghanistan.
Okay.
That's the interesting thing though, because it's kind of like they're in the middle, so they got like a mismatch.
They have an interesting blend of ancestry.
Russia.
Some of them will be lighter, green eyes, and darker skin.
Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely interesting
Yeah.
place. I don't know. What do you guys think about? I mean, so would you visit there? I would. Like,
I would.
Yeah.
It's hella expensive. What are you talking about, Uzbekistan or Dubai?
Uzbekistan, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it might be cool to check it out. I like Kyrgyzstan.
I can tell you none of these chicks are going to be short-term P for P. These chicks are long-term investments. You're going to have to be there for a while. This is not a turnaround. Let me go in a weekend warrior. This shit, you ain't gonna get it.
Nah,
They say
it's too far. It's too
some
far
guys say some guys been saying Eastern European women are very submissive and
they are.
Oh, let me say that about Brazil. Like, I think that if you go to Brazil and live there, like, you could definitely get the quality woman that you want, I believe. But
I got homies out there. It's white boy favor. Like even
yeah,
the white
I mean,
boys.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but I agree with that. Like, that's my experience. What you're saying, traveling, Tony, is the same. Like, but I think that as somebody, like, if you can get a woman in America, if you go to Brazil, you can still get a good quality woman. But like he said, it's still going to be in the favor of the Caucasian.
And
in all nations, that's the preferred.
It's gonna take a while. But what I'm saying, like in Salvador, I could tell like it's gonna take a while. Like I was gonna have to join some classes, and I was gonna have to
do some pottery, some language classes,
you gonna have to know the uncle,
dance class or two.
You're gonna need to know the uncle and the cousin and the grandma.
It's the gynocracy though, and the women are like hella materialistic. So, like even if you got a Brazilian woman, most likely she's not gonna cook and clean or any of that shit. Damn. She's gonna be very modern. It's gonna be very
I mean, no, that's not true. That depends where you go. I've been to Brazil. If you're talking about the girls in Rio, then yeah, you're right.
Are you gonna go to Manaus? Where are you gonna go to Brazil? Brasilia?
No, I went to my ex-fiance. She was from Mais, which is in Rio de. It's in the state of Rio de Janeiro, but it's like it's like a suburb, and actually it's country really. And I'm telling you, her family was like old school traditional, and the whole town was old school traditional. But her family extremely like. I'll never forget when I went to her. I met her family for the first time. I've always been naturally skinny, and her mom was yelling at my ex. Her mom was yelling at her, talking about you ain't feeding him enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then her mom washed my clothes by hand. Like, tell me where you're gonna get some woman here in the States, their mom to wash your clothes by hand, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna find that.
Here's the thing though. Brazil has red pill. They have extreme feminism. It's an extremely liberal.
Yeah, but you're talking about you're talking the major cities, man. I'm telling you, you got to get out in the country. That's what I'm telling you.
Your Portuguese got to be A1. Your Portuguese has to be A1.
That's true too. That's true too.
A1 Portuguese.
That goes to what I'm saying. Like, you got to be there for a long time. Like, you got to really immerse yourself in to even really stand a chance with the type of people you're trying to get into, especially as a black guy. I think you like,
and you have to be comfortable with extroverted society, because a lot of Brazilian chicks aren't sitting in the house all day.
Hell no, they trying to get out.
So that's what I'm saying. So I like the introverted women that want to stay home. And another thing dudes don't talk about, they talk about how pretty these girls are, but they want girlfriends and they're not looking for maternal, like, you know, instincts and stuff chicks have. You know what I'm saying? Wanting to be a mother. That's a big factor if you want to be in a relationship with a woman. But if you just want a hottie thottie who wants makeup and, you know, Instagram, shit like that, you're
She's good for looking good, but nothing else.
Nothing else. You're going to end up with the same product as America, and they're highly materialistic.
damn.
They are. I will say this though, Latinas are a little bit more polished than I've seen in Africa. When I say polished, like, you know, nails is on point. Here, like Brazilian women, when they get done up, they look really, really nice. They come with it.
Yeah, they do. And that's about it.
But in America, you get that though. You can
Yeah, you got that in America too. Yeah,
that's the problem. Like, I feel like you can get beautiful women in America, but
you get beautiful women anyway.
Yeah, and if their brain is not, if they're not thinking on the same wavelength as you, it's pretty much pointless though.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what dudes. A lot of American dudes haven't gotten past the just beauty aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's all that's required for a woman in America, in a feminist society.
Yeah, I need substance. I need substance, not just beauty.
That's you might as well just go to DR if you're looking for that. They'll get jazzed up and cleaned up for you. They look good.
But what y'all saying is got me thinking about when Tony asked a question about like the passport movement, and I would say one of the realities is that, you know how in the U.S. we always say if you want a good girl, you know, go down south or go in a rural area, and then
that ain't the facts anymore.
That ain't the facts anymore. But that was the kind of the talking point.
Right.
And now I'm hearing similar talking points in these countries overseas where guys saying, "Oh, you can't get them from the city. You got to get them from the village or the rural area." So
I'll testify to that.
It's kind of in one way it's disappointing because it's like, well, like what's the point of saying this country has better options if you still got to go to the rural areas in that country? You know what I mean?
But you have to look at the fact that the American hemisphere has influenced so many people. Western hemisphere has influenced so many people worldwide. Hence why so many people want to come here, not only just to earn the American dollar, but live the American experience. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at that too. We are overwhelmingly the country of choice when it comes to other countries wanting to be like us.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, we've unraveled some of those societies.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So if you telling me that if I go to, let's say, Tanzania or Brazil, and you saying, well, if you want a good girl or a certain type of woman, you got to go to the rural areas or the village or whatever, then I might as well say, well, let me just apply that same logic to the U.S. I might as well go to
and you can,
rural area. You know,
you can.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with it too. I've dated women in America. It's not like I haven't stopped dating women in America.
No, I don't agree with that either. No excuse. Like when people, because I've had people tell me, "Oh, you in Brazil, you got to go to Belo Horizonte, you know, go in the woods for a couple clicks, turn left, look under a rock," and that's what I'm not doing all that. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to meet girls from the villages in the major city for college and shit like that, and they should still be, you know, quite compliant, especially if they're in their early 20s.
Well, you got to remember though, female nature is female nature no matter where you go, and as long as you got passport bros going to these countries, like I said, they got options, and anytime a woman has options, you see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Things begin to change. You know, they get corrupted.
That doesn't apply to like, so okay, let's say you're an expat, right? And you got your girl living with, you know what I mean? You've been with her a couple years with the whoop. I'll pull up and I'm offering her $500 to sleep with me. But she understands if she does it, it's over. You know, the lifestyle she had with you is gone. You know what I'm saying? Do you think they're gonna do that? No, most likely not. Especially if they come from a good family. No. Now in the vacation cities like Pattaya, Cartagena, Angeles City, yes, that will happen. But those are escorts. You know what I'm saying? Those are not like any type of semblance of normal girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's going to be you and about 5 other dudes that are her boyfriends.
But in these countries, you restrict your girl's access to even like dealing with people. For example, like I have, I could go get my girl's phone right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but she can't do the same. Yeah, man. I go unlock it, do whatever I want. Yeah, man.
And I let chicks know that too. Like, I could go through your phone, but you can't go through my phone. They like, well, why? I said because that's the benefit of me being a man.
I didn't even have to explain that. in the patriarchy is just what it is, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, even with me, I mean, I conduct business, so a lot of females you might think is trying to hit up on me because of personal matters. It could be business, and you're just misconstruing what you're hearing. Because in business, people flirt.
You're right, Tony. You don't have to explain. You're right. It's been times where because I'm not used to being in that mindset of from a patriarch standpoint. But times are where I have just told, let's say, a chick from Africa, like, this is how it's gonna be, and no explanation. A lot of times they were just like, okay, no pushback, no nothing.
Yeah, man. That's why I love it, man. I don't deal with attitude and shit. Too many, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna interrogate me. And I pay all the
unfortunately,
bills.
you're not gonna get that in the Philippines. You get highly jealous females in the Philippines.
Yeah, I was married to a half.
I mean, you're their meal ticket. Of course, they're going to get jealous.
No, it's not even that. They're very possessive once they have you.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not about them worried about you leaving per se.
But I mean, that's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid that.
So you think it's from a scarcity mindset? They just think you're just going to have a whole bunch of girlfriends, or they're going to lose you based on the fact that you're a big earner. But in the Philippines, a lot of their men cheat, so they already have trauma.
No, I mean, and I agree with that. But like I said, you got to remember, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to, you're the meal ticket. You know what I'm saying? And
we're meal tickets all over the world. What you mean? Every man that gets with the chick by hypergamy dictates we're the meal ticket.
Yeah.
But if I'm the sole provider, I'm not taking too many opinions and shit. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I mean?
I understand that. I take some input, but it's still going to be my call on how it's going to function.
Input's cool, but you're not going to be demanding anything. Not where I've been. Yeah,
I'm the same way. I'll take your input. It'll be advisable, and I might change a couple things, but it's not going to function the way you think it's going to function.
And not to say I don't treat them well and stuff, but there's limits to my kindness. So
Hey, I wanted to say something. So I think that's where the passport assistants come in there, right there. I think that they see that in the passport bro movement, and they like that, so they like, well, shit, I got a job. I can go overseas and get a guy. And they try. I mean, I met women in Brazil like this, like where they were American women, and they, got their money together, and they over there trying to get a Brazilian guy to cook and clean. And the guy like, hey, you supposed to be cooking and cleaning,
right? You the sugar mama, and you still gonna do your feminine duties. You know what I'm saying,
bro? So now they providing and they cooking and cleaning and doing everything.
And they ain't saying a word, but they wouldn't do it here in America.
No, they can't take it. They can't take it.
They come out here too, and they get crunched up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
I
about
heard
that.
that women in Africa actually get beat down literally, and they were like, "Oh my God, he hit me!" Yeah, that's the laws in that country.
I mean, no hate on them. It's just the girl that was telling me this, I was telling her like, why would you think that you could? I don't understand the concept of why you think that that's a smart idea. Like,
I didn't get it either. That's why I'm like, yo, you like these dudes, they will hit you, like
and
a brother.
they talk about the women being hustlers on us. No, the guys are better hustlers because
Yeah.
they know how to hustle guys and women.
Mm.
And they will sock the shit out of a female in Africa. Like they
Oh,
will do it. Like they will do. I've met so many girls that have caught hooks. So like we don't do like us American bro. We don't do that. We're just all right. It's over. You know what I'm saying? There's no point.
Right.
Like, but them, it could be brutal. So I don't know how they talk about us, where we're actually like kind of sensitive, man, caring, love. Yeah, we aren't like savages. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna go boom. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was like 6 or 7 months ago where the girl got killed in Mexico by her friends, and they brought up a word I never heard of up until that happened. Is femicide.
Oh, I heard of that. Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck is femicide? They literally have a word for female murders based on the fact that they might have been, killed by a significant other or boyfriend, and they call it femicide.
Yeah.
But she wasn't killed by a significant. She was killed
I
by
know,
her
but
friends.
I know, but they still use that term, femicide.
It's pretty sad, man. People going overseas getting killed. And it's ill prepared too, going overseas with people you don't know, sleeping in the same room. Did you hear the backstory? I didn't even know those girls. They didn't know each other well like that, and they were just trying to do a trip.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous part. You don't know who envies you and who doesn't envy you, and you're just taking trips with people randomly.
Always better to stay by yourself. That's why.
And some people will set you up. They'll bring friends, and then that friend might not like you, but they'll still bring them with you just to see the drama happen. Then it goes overboard, and all of a sudden, oh, we didn't think it was going to be that bad. You knew something was going to happen, though.
Yeah, it's rampant in South Africa too, man. South Africa, I think, leads the world in femicides, man.
what?
Yeah, South Africa.
Traveling Tony.
Hmm?
Can you give us some advice on like how you were able to do what you're doing, like to because there's a lot of guys. I think that like me myself, I don't mind cold approaching people and just talking, and even if it's not just women, like I walk up and I strike a conversation up with people just randomly, like if I can, especially in other countries. So can you give people advice on like how to move around and what to do when you get to a new place like Tanzania or Kenya or anywhere really?
It depends what type of time you on though. Like, are you coming on demon? Are you coming to another country just to survey? You want to know? You know what I'm saying? Like, it
I'm saying
depends.
like as far as culture, like I mean, demon time, that's guys already, you know what to do with that. That's why I'm saying outside of the Tinder, outside of the Cupids and just like regular stuff like cold approaching and like is that a good thing in Africa? Is that
Yeah,
better?
it's the best method. It personally, what I would say, get your info from the guys at the gym. You know what I'm saying? Because in these other countries, to even go to the nice gyms, like you're paying like $60 to $100. So only the elites of the country could afford that anyway. So you see the young guys in there, you talk to them, get some game. You could talk to the females too, get game on how shit works, and they keep it real. And they're open about the bad shit in their country too, from what
Yeah.
I've seen, talking to people in the gym.
Oh,
Get some
that's
good
some
info. Yeah,
Yeah.
homeowners driving cars. These people have money, so it's better than asking the Uber guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking to some business owners. People that are able to maintain themselves. You know what I'm saying? So like you seen No Excuse, and I went to the gym. You seen the type of people in there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to get information.
No, he right though, man. I was talking to this chick in Uganda. Somebody got some bad feedback. I was talking to this chick in Uganda, and she was dating this guy from the U.S. and he had moved to Uganda. And she said when he got there, he started hanging around other Ugandan men, and basically they was putting him on game like, you should be treating her like this, or you don't have to accept that. So basically, they was just telling him how they handle their women in the country, and then she said he ended up leaving her, but she felt, she was disappointed by that, and she thought that she thought that she was getting this, because Americans, we come off as being more romantic, we're not as hard on women, and so he started being more like Ugandan men, to make a long story short. But when foreign women come to the US, a lot of them do the same thing. They talk to other women. They learn like, oh, you don't have to accept that, or he not doing this for you. We get the same type of game when we go overseas from the men, you know.
Cheers.
We get the same type of game, you know what I mean? So yeah, get that game, because when women come to the US, they get game too.
Hey, can I respond to this comment real quick?
Yeah, which one?
That's what I was like.
The last one. So it's not necessarily I check her phone. I have access to it anytime I want. And if she was to leave me, I don't care. I'll just get another one.
Thanks.
So I love her. Don't get it twisted, but I don't have a scarcity mindset at all. I have tons of replacements lined up, but I do love my wife. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm not in the same position as this Andrew guy. So yeah, we're in totally different worlds, bro. So don't even worry about what's going on here. You know.
I was
I mean,
wondering
my
who that
thing
was.
is, if you have a wife and she has social media, that should be open anyway.
Yeah.
Even my girlfriend, the one I'm dating right now, and I will be married, if there's something that she posts I don't like, she'll take it down
Right away.
Yeah,
Right
having
away.
immediately.
access is a must for me. Like we're not going to even get to that stage if I don't have access. So I don't see nothing wrong with having access. I don't have to go through a chick phone, but as long as I know that if
Exactly.
anytime I wanted to, I could access it. That's all I need.
And I pay for that shit. So what the
That's an
fuck?
American mindset for a female. That's an American
Yeah,
mindset for a female to think like that
that
and
it's most
actually
likely a
give you that
female though.
impression. Yeah,
It's most Big Mike or whoever that was, not Big Mike, whatever the
Andrew.
person, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They're
probably
most
a
likely female.
female. It's probably a female.
Yeah, female troll. Yeah, you could tell how they think. But it's you could tell obviously, and that's the thing too. There's so many unhappy chicks, right? Because nobody's choosing them because they're thinking like that, and they haven't realized like, oh,
That's
all
the
these guys,
I'm a prize mentality.
yeah, and they're not. Like these guys with money are leaving overseas. Like I'm pretty sure my girl lives better than her. You know what I mean? Like I take care of her. That phone's paid for by me. Everything's paid for by me. She got land, house being built. You don't have that because you're not feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all of us are capable of doing that. We're all capable.
About
It just
shots fired.
yeah, I mean, like just letting it know. Yeah, man.
Hey,
That's what it
hey,
is.
you bring up something good. I'm gonna share international. So he made a post, and I screenshotted it and put it on my WhatsApp story. Dog, so many chicks got triggered. They was like, "Oh, you don't want to spoil your women. You don't want to do this and do that." And what you just said, Tony, is if you're not feminine or have certain characteristics, you're not going to get that treatment. Let me share this post real quick, man. But it triggered a lot of chicks, man.
I mean, that's true though.
And I hope he elaborated on it more. So if y'all, I'm gonna read it real quick. He said a lot of women want to live a lifestyle they can't afford, and once they figure out, they try to get a man to support their desired lifestyle, and most of the time that doesn't work or last long. Then they get bitter with all future prospects and saying things like, "I like to be spoiled. I want to be treated like a princess. I don't like cheap or stingy men." But in reality, they are living above their means, and that's their problems, not yours. You know, so a lot of women got triggered by that. You know,
Mm.
they want to get spoiled, they want to get treated like a princess, but they don't offer shit. What's y'all thoughts on that?
I think it's
That's Go
a
ahead.
game. I don't think it's real in reality. I really think it's just a big game to get what you want. Like I remember picking up chicks and they would make fun of these guys. They would show me in their phone like, look at this guy. He want to take me out to eat and he does this and that. But she riding with me. She want to go home with me. Like these girls. I mean, they say things, but I mean, you can't take. I don't know what the saying is. You can't take a wolf at his mouth or something like that. You can't listen to what they saying and think that because we know this. Like if you talking to okay, so I'm not gonna say all women, but if you talking to a lot of women, they try to change what you're saying because you might could say it directly, but they're gonna change your words because they're trying
Hmm.
to figure out what you're trying to say because
Right.
Right.
that's how they operate.
Yeah.
So you can't just take and say, "Oh, she only wants somebody that's 6 foot with this and that." You can't go off of that because that same girl would be with a guy that's 5'5" that talk a lot of shit. So it's
Yeah.
just people like who they like and they get with what they like. I mean, they get with who they can, but they still have in their mind that they want this other person, this perfect person. A lot
Yeah.
of people want what they can't have. I think that's the major thing. People want what they can't have, so they project that onto the public, and we take it personally.
Mm, that's a good point. I think it worked. I mean, not to sound like them, but I was talking to this South African chick, you know what I mean, and she was explaining to me why. Well, she gave me her opinion on why certain situations may have not worked, and one of the harsh realities she mentioned was that you know somebody may be perfect for you, but you might not be perfect for them.
Right.
Um, you may not qualify, and this is a reality too. Like we'll tell women they don't qualify for a lot of things, but a lot of men don't qualify for certain women either. You know what I mean? A lot of guys in the passport bro space want nines and tens, and you know, take away money. A lot of guys don't qualify for nines and tens. You
You're
know.
not gonna get a 9 or 10 if you got titties. It's just what it is. Right.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. It's just the truth. It's not gonna happen. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is, though, you talk about qualifying. It's like, okay, when it comes to a man, right? We got to go out there. We got to get that six-figure job. We got to have assets. We got to have, you know, set ourselves up, to be a homeowner and all this other stuff to
Mhm,
qualify for a woman. But,
mhm,
at the end of the day, you're talking about, okay, what, I understand a 9 and a 10 is a beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's like, that's not, I mean, looking beautiful is not, that's not hard work. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I
that's
agree.
nothing. I mean, you could be born beautiful. You know, you didn't you didn't do no work, but a lot of men have to put in that work, and that's why I think a lot of men feel that way. So even though you might not, you might be a little bit on the overweight side or whatever have you, you went to college, you had to watch Chad and Tyrone, get all the girls and stuff, but you kept staying in the books and you know, next thing you know, you got the six-figure job. You're making $200,000-300,000 a year. You know, I'd be like, yeah, man. Like, what? How do you qualify for me? You see what I'm saying?
yeah, but then you start to sound like the females too, because the females say, "Well, I went to college, I worked hard, bust my ass, came to be this person. You know, I carry myself a certain way." But then somebody may say, "Well, you don't qualify. Maybe you don't qualify for this man." So it it,
But
it could kind of go both ways too.
well, here's the thing though, with that, and I understand what you mean, what you're saying, but
Mhm.
the thing is that okay. when it comes to men, we're not checking for women with college degrees. You got to remember, everything
Right, right.
everything is market based, right? So it's like women want that guy that can be the provider, 6 figures, in shape, funny. I mean, basically they want it all, even though that guy probably doesn't exist, and if he does, is probably less than a lot less than 1%. But like when it comes to women, we're not checking for those degrees. We're just checking for, okay, are you fit, feminine, and submissive. That's all we're
Right.
checking for. Real
I
simple.
mean, when you're younger, you check for those things. When you get older, I want those things, but I want her to have a conversation. I don't want her to be plumb dumb, just beautiful.
But you need more than money to
I
qualify.
need substance from her. I need to be able to have a conversation. I need her to understand. Like if I take her around my peers, I need her to be able to hold herself up. You get what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you the one thing that bothers me about some of these guys in these chat groups, and these are average looking guys, below average looking guys from a society lens, and they'll be talking, and they'll be talking about, she not bad enough. I need me a baddie. I need a 9 or 10. I'm like, nigga.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like the 9 and 10s believe in self-care. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, absolutely.
if you're not maintaining like how you look and putting on lotion and brushing your teeth, like they're not gonna fuck with you. Like it's just there's the human factor. Just like, for example, okay, let's say you had the most beautiful girl ever, right? But her pussy smelled horrendous, just fucking rancid. Do you still want it? No. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like,
That's true.
But again, like like I said, when the guy has to, the burden of performance is on this guy to do all this stuff. He had to work his ass off, and all a woman has to do is just literally just exist.
no, that's not the case. No. That's what
That's not true.
America told you. A
Yeah.
woman's she's supposed to be a homemaker, cook, clean, teach your kids, whoop-de-whoop. When your kid's waking up in the middle of the night, she's supposed to handle it. You stay asleep, shit like that. You don't do any of that work.
But let's be let's be real. A lot of, unfortunately, a lot of men don't think that way. Like, especially
in the West.
high value men. Yeah, in the West, a lot of men do not think that way.
But who taught them that? Here's the thing: they're conditioned to think that way. Like he was about to say, who taught them that? These single mothers that raised them.
I'm not going to blame the single moms.
No, it's the government. The government wanted women to be independent, because women spend money. They're materialistic when they're independent. If a woman has money, she's going to go blow money, especially if she has no man lording over her. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, well, if you watch the Dave Ramsey show, you'll see. I mean, there's men that blow money too. So it ain't just women.
Y'all getting into a bag of tricks.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing: men that blow money either can afford to blow money, and they are the ones that reproduce the money in the first place.
Exactly.
There's a difference between a man blowing his money to try to get a net gain versus a woman blowing money with no resource or recourse in order to get that money back, besides through the man that's giving it to her.
Well, there are men. Obviously, there are going to be people that do dumb shit, right? Just like, even in the most strictest society, there's going to be people who are with the rainbow team, even though it's illegal in the country, right? Humans are still humans. But, it's just the percentages, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much of the population believes this?
Who is this person?
I seen girls with OnlyFans pages, they're strippers, that's talking about they don't need men.
But yet and still, their number one client on their pages are who?
They can't make
Men.
money without men.
Thank you.
They need
Yeah.
every man. You
You
literally
making money because men are coming to
That's
your
true.
page. That's all it
making.
is.
It doesn't make any sense, bro. That's
You
why
ain't
I
got a whole
just
bunch of
like.
females on your page paying you. You got men paying you.
You think you don't need men?
They need them likes and followers on Instagram
You
too.
need. I mean, so it's kind of like you instead of having one man to provide everything you need,
Right.
now
You got hundreds,
you got
thousands.
all the men to provide a little bit. So it's kind of like a offering, I guess. You taking up offerings like a church.
But why you but guys get really irritated, man, that they can't get a 9 or 10. Let's say she's an IG level.
Culture invasion. We have an open panel. If you want to come up, man, and put out your views, you can. You know.
I think a lot of these folks don't realize what it's like to be with somebody that they looking at on IG, because they gonna be holding that phone a lot. They gonna be taking a lot of pictures. It's
But
gonna be
you gotta, most of these, a lot of the dudes, and you know what I mean, especially the ones, you know, where it's just like a G or L or whatever. Come on, when's the last time you think they got some pussy? You know what I'm saying? So they're just talking. That's why the space is so fantastical. You know what I'm saying? They don't even understand women at all. They just think, oh, I'm gonna get this bad whore that's gonna cook, clean, and be a great mother. You know what I'm saying? And go to a job and pay 50% of the bills. They don't know.
Come with something. There's gonna be some drawbacks, regardless to I think anything that you do, but people, like you said, don't know. Yeah, they don't know what they're getting themselves into a lot of times. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, man, that's what a lot of guys was panicking, man, about Colombia like being, kind of shut down, man. Because to be honest with you, Colombia and probably Brazil is popular as it is because guys can go get 9s and 10s, via pay for play.
Yeah, but they're not really getting those 9s and 10, like you just said. Pay for play.
Right.
They're not real 9s or 10s. They're hookers. 9 to 10.
Yeah,
and those girls don't like them. They're in
No.
their like Style King
It's
was
a
saying.
business.
Most of the time, those girls they're in their phone the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even a 9 and 10, that's like not in. You know what I mean? She got so many dudes blowing her up. Simps, like
Yep.
simps crying in their inbox. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I want to say something about what No Excuses said. Like, okay, so me myself personally, I just came to this conclusion the other day. I guess I was thinking like, man, I think my standards have really risen since I started becoming like more successful to myself. I don't want
Isn't
to
it
say
funny how
successful.
that happens?
Yeah, like just like the same thing that I criticize about women doing. Like, but as a man, that's what you're supposed to do, though. And as a woman, I think that it's harder because of the hypergamy thing. So I'm not siding with the women. I'm just saying like I understand a little bit about why they're doing that. It's just sad. I think the situation that we have with people
I mean,
trying to do that.
yeah, it's just their nature, man. I mean, you can't get upset at it. I mean, you can't get upset with our nature, So, I mean, I
It's the
understand.
realization, though. If you realize what's happening, you need to adjust. See, that's another thing that, as a successful person to myself, I crown myself on adjusting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
if whatever happens, I feel like I can adjust to it. I don't just be like, oh, it's over with. We can't do nothing. We gotta make.
Adaptability, great trait, bro. That's a
I
great
mean,
trait.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
Like
that's me. I'm the best. I'm just saying like I feel like that's
no,
how.
but even the fact that you acknowledge you're able to be flexible, that's a great trait, bro. Keep it up. Good shit, bro.
and
Especially
you
being,
look.
you got to be adaptable to live in these countries, or you get ran out.
I don't
Yeah.
even see how you can travel if you're not adaptable. Like it's crazy.
Oh, I've seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen some real ignorance.
Hey, no excuse. If I share something to your IG, can you pull it up and show it to everybody? It's pretty much on this conversation that we're having.
Yeah. Let me log in on my computer real quick.
I can do it to your WhatsApp. Oh, no, I don't have your WhatsApp. I have your Messenger or your IG, whichever one.
All right, yeah, I gotta give you my WhatsApp. I thought you was on my phone.
I am,
But-
but I'm not on your WhatsApp. I don't think.
No
I'm gonna send it
excuses.
to
Are
your
you
IG.
overseas now?
No, I'm not overseas right now. Now in Atlanta, I was gonna ask you this. In Atlanta, I know it's a lot of women from like different parts of the world, like African women, Brazilian women. Uh, have you dated women from different countries that relocated in Atlanta, or what's that scene like? Meeting women from other parts of the world.
Man, that's a awesome question, man. I've never had that question. Yeah, I've dated a lot of women from a lot of places. I have had like a couple different African women too. Like I had a South African chick that was beautiful. Like the business I was running at the time, the girl at the bank hooked me up with her. She was like 6'1", beautiful though. She looked like one of them Eritrean chicks, but she was from South Africa. Booted, everything was on point, man. She was just, just not really for me, but she's definitely still keeps in contact with me. And then like I had a girl from Nigeria one time, but that kind of went sideways because she was a dancer, so I don't want to get much on that. But yeah, different girls,
Now, when you say dancer, is she like a dancer for like? Because I know you're in the entertainment industries. Like she's a background dancer, or is she like a dancer?
No, she was
a stripper.
Yeah.
Let's call it. She was a stripper.
When dudes say dancer, I think that I'm trying to disseminate the difference between a dancer and a stripper.
You know damn well what he was talking about.
No, I don't want. I don't want to assume though, because some guys are really talking about professional dancers.
I mean, some do both.
I lived in Vegas. I know dudes that were dating dancers that were show dancers. You know what I mean? So I'm never going to assume that when you say dancer, it's a stripper, unless you tell me.
It was just the way he had said it. Like you got to read between the lines.
I think he was being polite. Yes, I know, but I needed him to clarify that.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was more about money. So of course, the South African chick was a lot better. I think. Like I said, we still cool to this day. She was actually a basketball player and everything, but she was nice though. Nice, like.
Oh, she was physically fit. If she was a basketball player, she had good cardio.
But still, it was a typical American thing. Like she had been here long enough to kind of pick up on the American thing. So she was, like.
Did you see it? No excuse.
Yeah.
It's talking right on that point. It's a video, so it's not a link. It's the video.
Okay, because let me see. Because I'm trying to do it where it won't show my other messages. Because if I share my screen, it's gonna show like
all your contacts.
I thought it was like an IG link.
No, I actually downloaded it because I'm going to use it on a short. But it's actually right to the point of what we we're just talking about.
Okay. Yeah, you have to WhatsApp that to me.
You know what's crazy? I think them two chicks is like total opposites. Like the Nigerian chick was more like, I ain't never going back to Nigeria. You should just do what you got to do. Don't worry about black people. Don't try to help nobody. But the South African chick was the total opposite, kind of like.
Oh, okay. You are on my WhatsApp.
She was a hustler, man. Like I like that about her, but she was more on the independent thing. Like,
oh, they get here and switch up when they get here.
I think so.
Oh,
there you go.
What about South Africa?
I just hit you.
Okay.
So do you think South Africa is a good choice for a passport, bro? Since you've been.
I mean, I changed my tune on South Africa. I mean, for visiting, yeah, but it's, in my opinion, for like trying to live there or move there, nah. Southern Africa is just too westernized, man. It's just so many things I've talked about it extensively, man. I would visit. Yeah, it's probably the funnest country in it's probably the funnest country in Africa, to be honest with you. But you got a lot. I mean, the women are just like the women in the U.S. In some instances, worse. You know, but you know they fine. Um, they definitely get down with the get down. So
What
yeah,
about the freedom, like as a person? Like, how do you feel do you feel free when you're there, or do you feel like if I do this, I can go to jail? If I do that, I might.
I think, yeah. I mean, it's a very free society. Like I said, it's the African version of the United States. Very liberal, um, very liberal. So yeah, you would definitely feel free to do certain things. I mean, and then you don't have to worry about you know things like we worry about in the U.S. being profiled because of your skin color, things of that nature. But yeah, I think most Black American men will have a good time in South Africa. But as far as getting away from the matrix, it's not a country that you're getting away from the matrix.
So the police aren't harassing black people.
Nah.
No, they're all black.
I mean, they do have a white. They got white and they had apartheid and all kind of stuff.
That's true. I can't say that. You're right. That's true.
I don't. I mean, just as an outsider that's never been there, I'm really clueless on the societal
Me
standard.
too.
Just as so, I mean, me going to Brazil really woke me up on not understanding what the hell's going on in places where we think we understand a little bit. Like I had no clue on what was gonna happen. Just like I was watching the podcast the other day on the guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I never heard anything negative." And I'm just like, I think I was on the show with this guy before, like, and he's talking like he never heard nobody have a bad story from Brazil. I'm like, I don't think I had a bad story, but at the same time, like, I'm not ranting and raving about it. Like, it was amazing. Like, this is the best place to go. Go spend all your money to go there, because a lot of
Yeah,
people go into their savings and their, like money that they don't really have to waste, and they spend it to go to places like that. That's a dream destination for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's my point in educating, because you like France, for example. I haven't been to France, but now that you have a second opinion on it, where that people are like, yeah, you might not want to go to France. Now you can think like, do I want to save up my whole life savings and spend it
Right.
to go there?
And be disappointed once you get over there because of the trash and the overpopulation and all the things that people don't realize about France now.
Yeah. If you're not doing like a tour of Africa where you're hitting different countries and you just gotta pick one, you know, it just depends. Like if you're looking to be an expat or if you just want to just have a good time and just get it out your system, yeah, South Africa, you could just say I went to Africa, cool. But if you really, really trying to, find like a favorite country to frequently visit and to possibly invest there, whether it's living there or
South
staying,
Africa has very cheap land, though, from what I did on research a long time ago.
you can find cheap land, but everything. But you gotta understand, there's always cheap land in a location that's not that may not be something you're interested in. Um, East for me is East Africa is like East Africa checks all the boxes for the average passport, bro.
Like Kenya in particular. Because we
Yeah,
were looking at property, and I think I sent you some property values in Kenya before. The
yeah,
lady that was showing the properties and things. Wasn't
yeah,
that
yeah,
Kenya? You
yeah,
didn't like Kenya?
yeah. A lot of guys know that realtor. Kenya not for me, but
Mhm.
something like Tony said, like East Africa, it's a country for everybody. You know what I mean? You got Kenya, you got Rwanda, you got Tanzania, you got Uganda. Um, you can throw Ethiopia in there. Um, I want to visit Burundi, but it's a country for everybody. I think, in at least in East Africa. Let me play this clip real quick, Ronan, that you sent me.
Okay.
Women are born at the top of the mountain. Men are born in the valleys around it. A man is judged on how high he climbs. A woman is judged on how far she falls. Men have much to gain. Women have much to lose. A man has to prove his worth. A woman has to preserve her worth. Masculinity is built and femininity is preserved.
Facts.
No, that's facts. That's facts, man. That's he was. I mean, that's male logic 101, man. You know, we got to work for everything, man. Build, 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 build. And like you said, women got to preserve. They got to preserve their beauty. They got to hold on to those attributes, man, because they can't afford to
Yeah.
lose, man. So you're right about that.
So that just goes to the points we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So I was gonna say something about, but yeah, when it comes to right now, what I see where guys are going to like migrate to Eastern Europe is definitely going to be. I've been hearing a lot about Eastern European countries. With the war going on right now, there's not a lot of travel in Eastern Europe, but that is always that is becoming more attractive. You know, Southeast Asia is still there, and yeah, I just kind of let go of Southern Africa, man. So right now, East Africa is the
Man,
way.
you sound like you got traumatized while you
I
were
don't
there.
know what happened in South
Yeah,
Africa.
don't he sound
Oh
like he
man,
was
it's just
traumatized a little
You
bit?
got me messed up. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like,
it's
but
the
I,
Tell
it's
us
I would
what
say
really
it's
went down,
I
man.
know
You sound
somebody from South Africa.
traumatized, bro. What happened?
man. I mentioned this before, man. Well, y'all might have not caught everything I said, but it's just so much, man. Like I said, I got into it with a chick in a club. She threw a drink. She threw a drink. She threw a drink because she was being kicked out of VIP section. So that just shows, like, women are masculine. They can be disrespectful to men. Um, they can't be checked by men because there's repercussions if you try to check them. That wouldn't have happened in like Tanzania, Kenya, or Uganda. You know what I mean? So women are more empowered in aspect of that. They can be disrespectful. The HIV rate is crazy, man. It's crazy. And like I said, um, I know somebody that did a rapid HIV test. It's two different people, two different occasions, and the rapid HIV test came back positive. You know what I mean? And that's just like that. That's just
Wow.
too slow. And it's not prostitute. Like, you could, like, a prostitute. You kind of like, it's with the understanding, like, you got to strap up or whatever the case may be. But guys typically go to like these countries, like in Latin America. They don't really think about HIV when it comes to non-pros, right? You only think about that when it comes to like hookers. But in Africa, you don't. It's not. You don't. It's not the hookers you got to worry. I mean, yes, it's not the hookers you got to worry about. It's the non-pros.
All of them. You
You
got
know
to
what I
worry about
mean?
it. Sound like you got to worry about everybody.
Yeah, yeah. What about everybody? And they're socially, they don't look at they don't look at there's no shaming. There's not really a shame when it comes to HIV in Africa like it is in the US. Like, it's still like people feel ashamed. It's not something that people would put on their dating profile, like HIV positive. But in Africa, you might run into some profiles. A chick might be saying like, I'm HIV positive, blah 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 blah. So maybe that's a good thing or bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing.
On
There's
the
not much,
dating, I mean, yeah.
people are more transparent and comfortable with that condition. But you know, Southern Africa is, even on the world, even on one of the it's an agency that keeps these statistics. Southern Africa, including South Africa, they do have the highest rates in in the world. Not saying that East Africa, West Africa, not saying that they don't have, those issues, but Southern Africa is definitely too close. It's just too much. It's just too much. Then you got uh, the cost of entertainment ain't cheap in South Africa. If you really want to impress a girl, you want to take her out, you want to turn up, because Nigerians popping bottles, they spending money. You know what I mean? So women
Oh,
are
so that's really an issue. Like I've heard that on podcasts, but so
they
that's a
they
thing.
raise the bar. They raise the bar. You know, having that American passport, a lot of them think that we don't spend money like that. You know what I mean? They think we cheap. I mean, even though a lot of us might have got the money, but
I've seen that in DR. Like I was hanging with the girl that was my little chick, and she told me like when we got back to the spot that these little grifters was like telling her that I was cheap. And I was like, what? I'm cheap. But that's how they feel because they were trying to get money. They were trying to get money from me, just for no reason. So they was telling her that I was a cheap person, because they feel like tourists are supposed to be ATM machines. You ask for money and you give it, take it.
you on vacation to spend money. That's how they look at it.
Yeah, so it's a thing.
Which is true. I mean, we on vacation to spend money, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I'll put it like this: I've overspent in Africa.
Well, I think value for value. You know what I mean? Like I heard that O'Shea channel. I see O'Shea a lot. He posts like every 3 hours. So shout out to him. He the man.
Yeah. He put out a lot of content every day.
But I agree with that point that he made where you want value for value. I've even had this in Atlanta. I went to the strip club one time just late at night, like just to get a couple drinks before it got too late. I go in there and I get a couple dances from a little chick, and then the next chick come out right before the club about to close or something, and she like, can you give me $50? Like, I said, for what? Like, what for what? Why would I do that? And she's like, cause you gave the other girl $50. She just came to the back and said you gave her $50. I was like, but she just made the money. Like she danced for the money I paid her. Like, do
Right.
her job. What the
I'm just
fuck?
gonna hand you 50 for nothing.
Man, that's what I'm saying. So people are so entitled these days. They don't understand. Like you have to give value for value. I want
Right.
value. I'm not just gonna hand around money to people for nothing that I work my ass off for. Like I'm not just born into money. Like,
It's like that, bro. I thought the U.S. was bad. Like African culture, they're used to their men just giving them all their money.
I mean,
And it's normal.
okay. Though it's another caveat in the game that we're not talking about too, because I am from Atlanta, so
Mhm.
it's a big scamming culture now. Instead of like hustlers back in the day, it was hustlers, but now it's a big scamming culture where people don't value money the same way. Like even when I was in DR, living in DR, like I met a bunch of scammers from the United States, and they asking me questions like, "Do you do this and that?" I'm like, "Man, hell no, none of that. Like, I'm good, bro. Like, I guess I'm a squatter, y'all. Like, I'm good. I'm a hustler. I'm from the old school. I don't do none of that, cause I'm trying to be legit. I'm trying to be for real. But
Mhm.
that's the game though. So when you talking to these younger chicks, they also talk to younger guys, and the younger guys, the only way that they can really play ball with us and be in the same even rooms with us sometimes is by scamming. So you have to keep stuff like that in mind too. That the multi-dimensional space.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're getting fast money, I mean, yeah, it's easy to just give it out. Like, yeah, I mean, that's drug money, any type of money. You can spend 10,000 in a club and not think about it because all
Right.
you gotta do is hit another lick.
Yeah, it's like a professional gambler. He doesn't count the chips like that.
They
He
got their
doesn't look at him as money.
drawbacks too. They be
Yeah.
broke too though sometimes, like because they got cards and they might not have cash, and it's a lot of other stuff that I see in the game when it comes to that.
See, women got it better though, because like you said, a guy can fall off. He could be broke, but a woman can just leapfrog to the next man. So she always getting taken care of. You know what I mean?
That's the whole idea behind women leveraging their beauty.
You know,
the longer they can preserve their beauty, the longer they can still be considered by other men.
Mm-hmm. But the East African chicks, they beg though. The Southern African chicks don't beg.
Some beg.
They man, I thought DR was the begging capital, man.
Oh
East
wow,
Africa, man,
you sound really scarred and traumatized, bro.
But
I swear to
about
God,
a whole different part of Africa. That's different countries now. We talking about.
Yeah, East Africa got more of like the beggars and the beggars. Southern Africa, they don't beg as much. You just
so it's no. So what you're saying is you can't get parity in East Africa? Like it's no value for value?
You got to go a little bit older to get away from the begging.
How much older?
I want to say like 27, 28 and up.
So within the spectrum of before they're not able to give children.
Wait, so how much do it cost? I'm sorry, Rona.
No, that's the only question I had.
How much does it cost to get from one side of town to the other in like a ride for a chick?
In what country?
In like East Africa, like say Kenya. Like
I would say because sometimes chicks live like 30, 40 minutes away, man. If you like Ubering them or something like that, it could be like $15 each way.
Okay.
Depending on how far they are. You know what I mean?
All right, my bad. What you were saying, Roman?
No, I didn't say anything. I was just I don't even know what I was saying. I'm old. I sound like Biden right now. What did I say?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like if I was there and the chick asked me for Uber money, like what I think, like okay, so $15, okay.
Yeah, about 15. I don't say.
Do guys nowadays have a problem with if they're Ubering a chick to their location so it's easier? So that I'm driving across.
I don't have a problem with doing it in the United States. So
yeah, I don't. I mean, my thing is, I got to drive all the way across town to pick her up, and then drive to wherever we're having a date. But the date's on my side of town. Why go through the hassle? Put her in an Uber and wait until she gets to the house, and then drive to the location we're gonna have the date at. You know what I mean?
I don't like doing it if I gotta do it every day. You know what I mean? If you rotating through women and you gotta.
If you running 4 and 5 dates a week and you gotta Uber them all, yeah, I get that problem too.
That's a whole different issue, though. You got some whole other issues going on at that point, though. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. We all and probably tried to do that or been there, but that's not something that you want to sustain for a long time.
Well, that's why places like I want to say like places in Colombia, DR is cool because chicks are usually traveling a short distance. You know what I mean? So you coming out of like a chick taxi in Cartagena, Medellin, maybe like $5.
Bro, that's a good scam you just brought up in DR that I don't even think about talking about. But in DR, so like you can be in like Santo Domingo, right? Mm-hmm. And you talking to a chick online, and she'll be like, she in Santo Domingo too. So then, salute. She'll say she's in the same city as you, but then as soon as she gets your WhatsApp and y'all start talking on WhatsApp, then she'll say, I'm in a different city, and she'll delete y'all conversation and block you online on the little chat. So then now you might not remember because you're talking to a couple of chicks, right? So now you might not remember that she said she was in Santo Domingo. So now,
you're confusing your women.
Yeah, so now she'll say she's in San Pedro. So now she need money to get to you. So now you sending her $40, $60 to get.
I ain't sending her shit.
I ain't sending shit.
But
if I'm booking something, I'm booking it on my account, so they come straight to me.
Yeah.
I don't book
I'm not saying
anything and
I've
give
never
nobody money.
done it
Yeah.
myself. I've never paid myself for none
No.
of this. I'm just saying it's been tried on me before, and I know I'm just like that's crazy. But why would I do that? Like, nah.
I got finesse. I got finesse one time in DR, man. It was for $10, but it was still a finesse. I had a chick. She was in. I think she was in San Pedro, and I was going to. Punta Cana. You know, Punta Cana.
Mm.
You know, like bus. There's only buses run certain times of the day getting to Punta Cana, and I really, I mean, obviously, I wanted to smash. So she was just like, I ain't got no money to get there. She like, can you send me,
Oh shit.
bus fare? And I was like, how much is? So it was like $10. So I sent the exact fare. This bitch go get the money, and then gonna say I had to pay my taxi driver to take me to get to. Basically, she said I didn't send enough. I'm like, man, hell no, man. I said,
So she took a taxi to get to the bus
well, she
to
said
get to you,
to
and there
get the
wasn't
money.
enough.
She took a taxi to get the money from Western from.
Oh, you sent to Western Union. Oh okay.
Bro,
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
done
not a
that in the
Western
United
Union
States,
Poppy. Not a Western Union
Oh
Poppy.
man, yeah.
Reformed. A
bro.
reformed Western
I
Union
did that in the
Poppy.
United States years ago, like probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Somebody got me like that on Cash App. I sent the girl like $15 before I even met her for real.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when I encounter that anywhere else in the world, because it happens. Even like I was chilling with another YouTuber in Dominican Republic, and he was like, "Oh, I got some girls. They coming from La Romana or something like that." And he was like, "I'm gonna send them 40 so they can get here." And I was like, "Man,
That
don't
was
do
a
that
bust.
shit." And he was like, "No, no, no."
Andrew, it was in Dominican Republic. $10 goes a long way, bro.
It
Yeah.
was for transportation to meet me in Punta Cana, the bus.
Yeah. That's not American.
But I just think it's a bad idea. I think that you don't send money to people you don't know. Like if you know
Yeah,
them,
that's a
you
strict
met
rule of
them.
mine too. I don't do
Yeah,
that, and it's because I've been burnt too many times.
yeah, man.
You know,
You ain't
my
never
thing
seen
is,
them
if you need a
before,
ride, fine. I'll book a Uber for you or a Lyft.
bro. If
Give me
you
a
then that's
location.
kind of a
I'll book
desperate
it on
thing,
my account. That means you got
Hey,
to get in the vehicle.
I got finesse with that too.
Yeah, you
Uh,
don't get in the vehicle, and that's fine. You know, it is what it is. But
but then they
you're
kind
not
of think
gonna
about it like, bro,
right.
that's kind of a desperate move anyway. You sending money to somebody you don't even know, and they just because they plan on you, they could just change their mind and not show up, and now they just
And that's happened.
that's a whole business
Yeah,
though. Think
that's a
about that.
whole
Like it's
side
a whole
hustle.
business.
Yeah,
Man, I had
yeah.
this chick in Medellin. Right? Like I hooked up with her. I hooked up with her, and I don't know. I think she got mad at me because I went to go see another chick. So she was supposed to see me the next day, and she was like, "All right, give me an Uber to come to you." And so I was staying in like this area called Parque Jerry. So she got in the Uber, but she got dropped off. But she told the driver to let her out somewhere else. So I'm like, this bitch. You,
Damn, she got
you,
damn, goddamn.
I said,
I,
damn,
you live and you learn though, for real.
yeah,
Yep.
Damn, she got down on that. That was smart on her part, I guess, but not though. That's crazy.
yeah. So
Damn,
you got to be up on your toes, man. But hopefully I done seen all the tricks, man. You know.
that's definitely one of the tricks that you need to be cognizant of.
But I got that one chick in Santa Domingo and DR back though. 'Cause some guys was like, man, let it go, man, take that L, bro. I was like, no.
He said, I
I was like,
refuse.
no. I said, no. So
He said, I'm petty like that.
I waited some time, man, and I waited some time for her to kind of forget, and I was like, yeah, I'm coming out there. It was something I told her, but I was like, I'm gonna send you some money, and so I had sent her a fake Western Union a fake
Notification.
Western Union
Yeah.
reference number, and I was like, yeah, I just sent this to Western Union just so she could waste her time and money going up there, and wasn't them up there. Like, bitch, don't ever play with
Petty.
me. Don't ever, don't let
Petty. Petty ass.
You know she got to check it out. She ain't gonna not check it out.
got her ass back and blocked her after that.
That's the whole point. 100% is the fact that the underlying reason why these individuals resort to scamming is because they don't want to work hard and they rather get it from somebody they feel like has the money. And a lot of these foreign women think that we have printing presses here in America and we just print off money as fast as we can. You know what I mean? We don't have to go and earn it ourselves. We can just print it off like that.
If you can take $30, $40 from each person, if you can get 3 people a day and you live in the DR, that's great. That's great.
That's good money. Yeah. Then you got a couple Western Union poppies on the hook where they're dropping cash to you, or Western Union you once a month.
But think about this.
That's the whole side hustle.
It could be a guy. You could be literally talking to a guy with pictures of a girl.
Catfishing is a real thing, and it's a big business in Nigeria. You could be talking to a dude being catfished with female pictures all over your Facebook and everything else. The number one thing I tell people if I'm going to talk to them, you need to FaceTime me. I need to VCU, video call me. I don't want no voice call. I need a real live interactive voice call. If you can't do that within 5 minutes of me meeting you, I'm deleting them.
Yeah,
you're right.
I'm rude like that.
As soon as they say
I don't give a fuck what you look like, because that ain't really you. That's somebody else.
Boot them out.
Let me see, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna check out, man. I appreciate y'all coming up, man. Any travel plans? I know you. What's y'all travel plans for the rest of the year? Just so people.
Philippines. That's me.
When you going?
I might hit it once or twice. I'm gonna go in September, and I might hit back by December, and then I'll be. My travel plans by 2025 is shipping container, load my truck, and whatever household goods I want, and I'm drop shipping that shit over to the Philippines. I'll be in the Philippines full time in 2025.
Okay. Then.
So in September and December will be more about scouting land, meeting the chick I'm going to be talking to, and being with there, and arranging what I'm going to do and where I'm going to stay. So by the time I move in May of next year or April of next year, I'll already know the destination where I need to have the shipping container sent to. Shipping containers only $5,000 or something like that. So you can put a truck in it, and I have an SUV. So I can load my SUV into it and whatever household goods I want, and just have it dropped on a property wherever I go in the Philippines. And it can be a secondary storage unit, or I can actually convert it into something usable once I get the land.
Okay.
They finna do it big out there, bro. Yeah. Shout out to Ronan, man.
Oh man, what about you, man? What's your any travel plans for between now and the end of the year?
Definitely. Like I said, I want to visit Ecuador and Mexico. I've been looking at Mexico as well.
I was trying to get QB up here. He disappeared. He said be back in 20 minutes. So that's the Mexico expert right there.
For real?
Yeah, QB passport flexing. Check out his content.
I think we got a couple of contacts in common. I know a couple of people that say they know him. So I think that I will be traveling on a different road now. You know, hopefully I can get some content for people that haven't really been to.
I know you've been to Brazil. You haven't been to Colombia yet. Have you ever been to Mexico at all?
Actually, no, I haven't. So that's gonna be a different thing. Like I'm interested in trying different things. I still want to go to Africa, definitely, but for right now, still trying to work on this deal that I'm pursuing. I think that
I got it.
The closer it's gonna be more.
Well, that's more important right now because that's your resources. That's your,
Yeah, I'm trying to secure a little bag for the future. So, it's a little different right now with the market and everything. Like, it's complicated. So,
real estate market is not fun right now. It's ever changing.
Yeah, man. I just want to say anything that I've ever said about investments is purely opinion based.
I've made several disclaimers for other channels so that people understand whatever's being said on the channel is not necessarily the opinions
It might not
the
be
host?
my opinion when you talk to me later. Shit changes. So
Yeah, it always changes. Yeah,
it's tough.
absolutely.
So I just want to say thank y'all, man. Rolling, appreciate you. No excuses, man. Y'all really solidify the game for people like me, being new in the space, doing my thing with the music and
But
YouTube and
like I
just,
said, when you do things right, it's good to give you your flowers now.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
put your info in the back check because I'm gonna be in Atlanta later this year, man. One of my fam, he make beats. He's in the music, man. So I'm gonna work up some things so people can get music for their YouTube. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, I'll
unlicensed
be looking
music.
for
So,
that. Yeah, I'll be looking for that theme music too. I'm gonna be needing to chop it up
hey,
with. I already got you first on the list, King, because I know you.
hey, bro, I got you, man. Whatever y'all need, man, just let me know. And
but yeah, we're gonna connect on the music stuff though, because I got some peoples down in the A. So.
oh shit, that's where I'm at. So yeah, that'll be really good. I'm willing to work with anybody, man. That's willing to work, man. I'm a hustler, so let's do it.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll check y'all brothers out, man.
All right, no excuse. I appreciate it, brother. It was a good. Actually, this is a great conversation because it even gets my mind going because I know what my plans are. But it's always good to hear from other people that have already done it and people that are looking to do it as well. So this is a great topic and probably needs to be touched on several times. You know what I mean?
All right, for sure. Peace out.
Go live. Go live again, bro.
Who?
Put your hold on.
When you going live?
Let me end the stream. We can talk on the back end.
All right.
Yeah. Got the flight book, it's a library. I'm in the DRDO. Just took a flight to Bora Bora and foreign cars like foreigners. Berry on her. Up in France, bitch, bonjour. I been come to go so we going Paris tomorrow. Only Paris we carry, spin at the mall. We doing the same alone. My diamonds be saying, add some more change. That's the same alone. Dripping all the way from home and taking the wrong. Got the flight book, it's a library. We ain't flying solo. Tune in to the show. It's the Passport Bros. No excuse entertainment. Jay Slay on the show. Turn it up some more. It's the Passport Bros.